At CoCoTALK, we'd like to thank the patrons who sponsor our show, so our heartfelt gratitude goes out to Al Hartman, Alan Huffman, Blair Ledoux, Boaton John, Brendan Donahue, Brian Weasler, D. Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Patrick Randolph, Dinty, Eric Canales, Frodo NL, Glenn Hewlett, Graham Vebke, Grant Leedy, Henry Strickland, Jason Downs, Ken Reichert, Kyle Etter, Malfunk, Michael Pitsley, Rick Hewlin, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, Paul Thayer, Richard Lorbieski, Jenna Farron, Rob Inman, Alan Murphy, Stephen Wagner, Terry Steen, The Backyard Shed Gang, Tom C., Tom S., Tim Lindner, and Tony C. Thank you ever so much, patrons. CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the only show in the world featuring David Ladd. It's time to grease your weasel and do whatever yo please'll, cause we're about to rock your 8-bit world. All right, welcome everybody to episode 189 of CoCoTALK. We've got a great show for you. We got a great panel. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite processor, the 6502. Coming at ya. All right, you heard it here first. The world premiere debut of the brand new CoCoTALK theme song by Bruce Moore. What'd you guys think?
I like it.
Absolutely love it.
Oh,
Very cool.
yeah.
Love the David Ladd reference.
Well, that's a good disclaimer. David Ladd is here, so decide if you want to watch the show or not.
We have to warn everybody. That's right.
Start the local recording?
No, I did not, but I can. I'm having some, I don't know if you guys are seeing this here, I'm having some major frame rate drop issues right now. So hopefully the show is going to continue to go on, but my streaming right now is, it is what it is. So Mark B, maybe be ready to jump over to the hot spare if we need you to.
It is hot.
All right, so welcome everybody. So what'd you guys think? You guys like Bruce's new rendition?
Yes. Very much.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Tempo. Oh, yes.
Very talented, Bruce.
I already missed the old one.
2 thumbs up for me. Love it.
Well, if you missed the old one, you can go watch the old show and you'll hear it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to completely get rid of that one, but we were talking last week. I think I mentioned it to Danny. That would be nice to have some variety and some mixing up some stuff. And then Bruce was on Discord the other night and I said, yeah, it'd be really cool to get some 80s synth. And, and he sent me a couple of things this week and then boom. And then this morning I came up with my little blurb at the beginning. What'd you think of my blurb there, Bruce?
The David Ladd part was particularly entertaining.
And that is a true statement. We are the only show in the world featuring David Ladd.
I find that the fresh intro makes up for the stale content after.
Yeah, put a positive spin on it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that, Bruce. We're glad you could be here. So, matter of fact, we're going to go around the panel, but since Bruce is here, and I'm not sure how much time Bruce has, I'm going to start off with my project update right now because I got this wonderful holiday gift sent to me by Bruce Moore, and that is the CoCo 40th Anniversary Coffee Book. And it is lovely. It is loverly. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? It's got nice pages. There's a nice kind of pearl finish to the pages. It's got lots of pictures. You know, it's a nice, easy to read picture book. It's a beautiful thing. Very good quality. Very nice. You know, it's just it's something that if somebody who never knew what a CoCo was, they could pick it up and look at this and go, oh wow, that's really interesting. So great job on making this, Bruce, and thank you for sending that to me as an early holiday gift.
You are welcome.
Much appreciated. So I'm not sure how much time you had, so I wanted to make sure I acknowledge this and say thank you for doing that. It is a wonderful, nice little thing there. So guys, reach out if you want to get one of these from Mr. Moore. On the panel today, on the live panel, we've got Mark Bosley's with us. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hello. Pretty good.
We've got L. Curtis Boyle. Hello, Curtis.
Hello, everyone.
We have a man whose name is so nice, we always say it thrice. It is Nick Marotta, Nick Marotta, Nick Marotta. Hello, Nick.
Hey, Stevie. Good to see you, man.
It is good to see you. Our resident Apple guy, Mark Overholzer, is with us. Hello, Mark.
Glad to be here.
The first woman on the panel, Danny O'Connor, is here. Thank you for being here, for making history, Danny.
Hello, everybody from down under. It's good to be here again.
Welcome to the CoCoTALK locker room. We've got Rick Yulin with us. Hey, Rick.
Howdy from off to one side.
There we go. John Laurey is with us. Hello, John.
Hey, everybody.
We've got, look at the beard on this man here. Rendezvous! Look at that beard.
Hey.
You are looking amazing, sir.
This is from my CoCo 1 TDP 100.
Ah, very nice. The multi-talented DeBruce Moore is with us. Hello, DeBruce.
Greetings.
Creator of More Media.
Bruce.
Yes, he is
John.
the, what was the title we finally gave Bruce? It wasn't Maestro of all media for the color computer. DeBruce Moore, collector of many, many things. Brian Weezer's with us. Hello, Brian.
Hello, welcome to the show.
We've got Alan Murphy with his furry creature next to him there. We've got Sloopy Malibu, our resident Atari guy. Hello, Sloopy.
Atari
guy. We've got Brian Schubring, the music man. Good afternoon or good morning to you, Brian.
I'm doing fine here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That first guy sounded like the guy from Photon.
Thank you.
Yes.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing much better now that my ears aren't blasting out of their freaking sockets. But
A
yeah,
little bit too hot for you?
that was a little too hot. Yeah, that's nice.
Not for TV.
Yeah. Our backup streamer is here, Mark Bosley. Yeah, so right now my streaming is telling me that I am dropping frames like it's nobody's business. So hopefully the live feed, guys, let me know how the live feed's coming through. We may or may not need to switch over. Thank you for being here, Mark. We've got a guy, I wonder how he's feeling right now. David, how are you feeling about today and being on this show today?
Why, hello everyone, and I'm here, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
Okay. All right. That was a kind of a subdued David Ladd right there. David must be on his
I'm trying to figure which is more creepy, regular David Ladd or subdued David Ladd.
Yeah, subdued David Ladd.
Valium David Ladd.
Yes. From down under, the thunder, Nicholas Marentes. G'day, Nick.
G'day, Coco Nuts.
Welcome to the program. And we've got the Slayer, Paul Thayer, is with us. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hey, doing well.
Okay, so there we have it. We are here. We have named today's show What the Photon, right? Because we've been playing Photon this past week. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that and share all the stories we have there. But we're going to go ahead and slide right into almost everyone's favorite part of the show. This is the part that we call Updates and Acquisitions, where we get to talk about, hey, did you work on a project this week? Did you get a new find this week? Did anything you want to share? So we'll go around the room and we'll start with L. Curtis Boyle. Anything that you want to share with the world, Curtis?
Not today, but I will say that we're going to be doing a preview and question and answer session for Nitrous 9 Ease of Use Beta 6 next show next week.
Okay, you guys hear that first. We are going to have a very special episode of CoCoTALK next week showing you the world premiere of Nitrous 9 Ease of Use Beta 6. What's new features, new apps, new things. If you're a Nitrous 9 fan, you're going to want to go ahead and set your DVR now. If not, then I am sure there's quality content somewhere else you can watch next week. So
I'm hoping to have Bill on that show too. So
Bill Noble and Nick Marotta. Anything new and exciting with you this week?
In the CoCo world, no, not a whole lot. I've been doing some stuff in the PC world, but as far as the CoCo is concerned, no, not.
Okay. Did you play Photon?
I did play Photon. I suck at it.
Oh, okay.
But I like to pick games I suck at to show that I have no bias.
There you go.
Except
Thank
with
you for
Joust.
being honest.
Oh, I'm excellent at Joust, though.
Howdy. Qui-Gon just joined to say, Qui-Gon, how are
I
you?
won the game I prefer. Did you, Curtis? I don't remember.
Mark D. Overholes, or anything new with you?
No, sorry, I've been busy with work.
All right. Danny O'Connor, anything new coming from you?
No new CoCo stuff, but I do have something that's very, very closely related because it's part of the CoCoTALK show. I can very fancily zoom in here on my little device and switch over here.
Ooh.
I have a brand new vision switcher, a Blackmagic Atem Mini Pro ISO, which basically allows me to switch all my 4 cameras and still shots and graphics, and I can do green screens and blue screens and special effects, and it's got a Fairlight audio mixer built into it.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I can zoom back out here, just pull back out to my shot there. You can see it on the desktop with the preview monitor up here. And then I can dissolve to a different camera angle like that. So it's absolutely fantastic little device. I really love it. It's
That is
a lot
cool.
of fun.
That is cool. And David Ladney is one of those, so we can see him from all angles. So very cool. Rick,
No.
Rick Euland, anything new coming from your camp this week?
Well, I've been learning to redraw all my old schematics the way the cool kids do, where you don't connect everything with wires. That way you can just drop new chips into a schematic without having to redraw the whole damn thing. And it was probably worth the time, so news soon.
Wow. Cool.
Neat.
John Laurey, you've mentioned you've got some stuff to show and tell. You've got a story to tell.
I do. I was on the Facebook Marketplace, and I found a guy who was selling a whole bunch of CoCo stuff. So we hammered out a price of $100, and so I met up with him yesterday and picked everything up. And first thing up on the thing here is a DC 2212. So what is this? A 1200 baud modem.
1200 baud.
Yeah, and the power supply is with it. And this here, I don't know what it is, or I know what it is, but it's not really CoCo related. It's basically just I think it's like a really loud bell. You plug your phone into it. It's got a volume switch, and it's just for
phone ringer for the hearing impaired.
Ringer.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Or it lets you put a ringer where
Your
you can't
phone is
normally hear a
ringing.
phone.
Let's see, we've got this here, which is an official Radio Shack cassette, computer cassette.
Nice.
31.
Which model?
CCR82?
CTR something, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
CCR 81
Yes, the one I have.
with the wall wart. And let's see what else we got here. Another modem, including its wall wart. This is a DCM3.
300 baud.
300 baud. Wow.
I had that one.
That's the one you have to manually click to connect to, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got an answer and originate switch.
I had one of them also.
That's the one I had, yeah.
Yeah.
Call up
I don't even have a
BGS.
phone line in my house anymore.
I just wanted to interject one quick comment from the chat here. Tim Franklin says, give that 1200 baud modem to Steve so we can get a better web connection.
Yeah.
There you go. I think this is it doesn't say on it, so I'm guessing it's the first generation disk controller, FD500 or
3029 or something?
3029. That's exactly right.
Very first one, yeah.
Second.
Yeah, if you look in the end, you can see it's
3020.
the pops
Yeah,
are there.
3022. That's right.
Did they make them
3022.
smaller after that? That's the one I had, I think.
There
Yeah,
are
the five-
smaller ones. Yeah, there's
Like
like
502,
500
for example,
ones.
is quite a bit smaller.
Didn't you have the 12-volt one, then the 5-volt one, then the smaller one? Wouldn't that
Yeah.
the progression?
The 3022 and the 3029 are 12 volt.
Okay, and then here we got, I don't know what this is here. It's a DB25. Let's see, where's my camera at? There it is. With a DIN plug on the other end. So I have no clue what this is for.
Do you have a
Plugs into
printer, I'm
Bitbanger
guessing?
port. Bitbanger port.
Or Bitbanger, yeah.
To connect to a printer?
Oh, it could connect to the older style RS-232, the full 25-pin ones too.
Okay, and then it only weighs a ton. A floppy drive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, that's worth it.
Yeah.
$500 at the time.
Is that the
Let's
silver
see.
or the cream?
It is a white cased.
White case.
Should be 40 track then.
That's why.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a 40 track. Those
Full height, right?
Sugar drives.
Was
Yeah,
it
it's
full
full
height?
height. Yeah. Yeah. And then this here, I don't know what it is. A cartridge maybe, or I don't know what it's for. It would.
Yeah, it could be like a proto board.
I got a couple of them here.
Well, that one's
Sure,
smaller.
that's CoCo.
That, what are you saying, Sloopy?
Look like Atari 2600.
Oh, Atari
Yeah,
2600.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
2600 cartridges. Yeah, it's possible. Alrighty, and okay, here comes the a Black Beauty.
And it is a beauty.
I'm not a fan of these. Another Black Beauty.
Not two.
Are these the black
Matching
handle
set.
Black Beauties or the old silver ones?
Silver.
Oh wow, the classic.
Oh wait a minute.
Screw the top one.
One silver, one black, actually.
Got a
Okay,
mixed
and
bag there.
this is one of the wall warts for, or the wall wart for the DC212. Okay, what else we got going here? Some more cables, some cassette cables. I'm not gonna waste time on those, but got a couple of cassette cables. Okay, and
Whatever.
Nice.
Later CoCo 1.
And it's not
Early.
centered. It's not
That's an
centered.
earlier one, yeah.
It's got the
That's
memory
an earlier
badge.
one then.
What's it say on the badge?
It's likely a D or E board. What's
4K?
the badge?
That
RAM?
hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts
64.
16.
64?
Yeah, it's kind of. It looks like it's got some road rash on it or something. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it's 64K.
I
That's
never
the
straight-
saw a 64K badge like that back in the day.
No, I didn't either.
No,
But they
that's
came
the,
off the Model
that's the-
3s.
Yeah.
Is there a date
but-
inside the lid?
There's not.
That's the same model as mine, but mine had the 16K badge on it.
Does that have a service tag on it? Because that looks like the one from the 26. What does that be? The 3001. But then there would be sometimes it's service badge, and they would replace it with like a 3018 part number on it on the bottom.
Whoops. It's got a. Let's see. It's got a serial number of 4,323.
What's the model above
Yeah,
it?
what's the model above it?
3002.
Oh, two. Okay.
That would have been
Okay.
like a 16K originally, right?
And then
Yeah.
this thing has really been Frankensteined because this is what the inside looks like.
Holy cow.
Oh, wow. Look at those.
Oh, geez.
There's a
Can
circuit
you
board.
say wire mods?
Yeah, the top of
That's
your-
where your 64K came from.
Right. That
Yeah.
whole thing there should have an RF shield over the top of it there, so it's completely unshielded.
I think it's video related because there's a switch on the side here and a
Ah,
couple of
Composite ports
RCA
for sound
jacks.
and audio video.
Interesting. I've never seen them like that. And there's a toggle switch here that might be for the inverse video or something.
Yeah, I think that's what that's for. One of the YouTubers out there during Septandy had a similar CoCo with a similar mod. And that's what I was thinking exactly. It was it
It looks
you flip
like-
the switch and it inverts the video.
My CoCo 2 has the same things on the bottom, in the tray, and it's composite and sound.
Yeah.
Well,
And
think of
also,
every-
I don't know if I can get this on here to show you, but there's some serious, like the entire keyboard's like hand wired to the motherboard.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's really kind of strange. I wish I could show it.
Yeah, we
Here,
kind of see
let me
it.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Is there a
Wow.
wire going to each individual key?
Yeah,
Get rid
so
of the
this
PIAs.
Does it work?
You know what? I haven't plugged anything in and turned anything on yet, so I don't know if things work. But I plan on eventually. I'd like to remove that modification, return it back to standard, and then maybe, who knows, maybe CoCo VGA. Down the road.
Keep in mind though, those green wires going to that circuit board is probably your 64K upgrade, so you ought to be a little cautious about what you remove.
Okay, well, that'll be definitely a project for later on down the road. Okay, so the last major piece of hardware, and then we'll get into the software. Actually, do have
for $100.
But wait, there's more. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. CoCo 2.
That's the beauty of a CoCo 2 right there.
That's
nice.
Nice.
Okay,
3127B.
Just real quick, I just want to mark the time here. 2:21 p.m. I believe the stream is stabilized. We got a green light. Hopefully we're good now with the buffering. But that is the beauty.
They might have the T1 chip in it.
It's 3127B.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows, is it 64? Is it going to be 64K?
Yeah, it should be 64K. Yeah.
64K and lowercase, right?
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
And lowercase. Cool.
Would it have lowercase? So does it have a Radio Shack badge or a Tandy badge on the?
It says Radio Shack.
Did they have T1s in the Radio Shack ones? I thought it was only in the Tandy ones.
I don't know. There would be a B after the model number, wouldn't it?
It does.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of the Radio Shack ones having that.
A bit of software here. Let's see. Start off with these. We've got a cartridge called Starblaze.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg Zumwalt.
I'm not familiar with that game. Another one called Stellar Lifeline.
DB Orcs.
That's my favorite game. Love that game.
Lovely.
Okay. And what else we got here? Demon Attack, which I am familiar with that game. I used to play that on Atari.
Yep, good one. Yep.
And Downland.
Crikey.
Nice.
Downland cartridge.
This is a popular one.
Yeah, that's the older 1.0 by the looks of it, so that won't work on a CoCo 3.
Oh, okay.
We'll plug in,
really?
though. Yeah.
The cartridge won't work on a CoCo 3?
No.
Yeah, they had to patch the ROM software. So there's a version 1.1 which has a different label that actually fixes it, so it does. So.
Huh, interesting. Okay, and another Steve
Nice.
York.
Zaxxon
there you go.
in the
Zaxxon
blister
package.
pack. Yeah.
In the package, yeah.
It's not too yellow, is it?
That's cool.
There's a bit of yellow on the back there.
Yeah,
not
mine's
a lot.
all yellowed.
Yeah, very nice.
And then from the same guy.
Pooyan.
Ooh,
Pooyan.
I've never
in the
seen that
package.
in a retail package before.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
something. When I saw those, I was like, wow, that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then some other odds and ends, like a quick reference card.
Yeah, those are nice.
Let's see.
Yeah.
The instructions for like Starblaze and Stellar Lifeline.
Nice.
Another quick reference guide of some sort.
Rough camera.
Extended basic.
Oh yeah,
Extended
I have that one.
Okay. I've never seen that one with the green background.
And Cave Walker instructions
Oh,
for a
neat.
game called Cave Walker
Yeah,
that
that's
I'm not unfamiliar with. And
Kind of a Downland sequel.
instructions for Downland.
Nice.
No cartridge, but instructions
For Daggerath.
for the game of all games.
Nice.
Oh no, cartridge is missing.
Do you have the cartridge?
No, I don't.
Demon Attack.
Demon Attack. That's why I was like, when I saw the instructions for it, I'm like, oh, I hope that cartridge is in here, but it's not. And then some kind of dot matrix printer printout for something for Greggy term. It's like the
It's a
entire
terminal program by Greg Miller, who's
Oh, wow.
actually
So
active
that's
in our
like
Facebook group.
the whole instruction manual printed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the entire instruction manual printed on a dot matrix printer,
Wow.
which is interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen dot matrix output. And okay, let's see here. Almost done. I got let's see, about 5 cassettes. I have no idea what's on them, and a 5 1/4-inch disc box full of discs. And then the manual for the DC
Nice. That's in good shape.
2212.
That's in
Are
good
they
shape.
Radio Shack cassettes?
They are. Whoop, hang on.
Oh, Ken Reichard says that Cave Walker was a little bit more family friendly than Street Walker.
Yeah, they're C20s. 4 of them.
Oh, yep.
Nice. Look at those.
And then introducing your color computer 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello, color computer 2.
Nice
Nice to
intro.
meet you.
Good shape too.
Getting started with ECB.
Nice.
Yeah, also in great shape.
That's
And
color basic.
something called Compact.
What'd you say, Ron?
Like a communication.
Color Compact's a term program that Tandy sold. Not a very good one, but it was one of the earliest ones that you could buy.
And a disc manual.
Nice. That's her disc basic.
Disc system manual. Yep.
Alrighty.
That
All
is-
for actually $100, but I want to give him 120 because he shaved like 200 miles off my driving. So I told him, I said, hey, you know, you saved me so much money in driving and gas. I said I threw another $20 in.
That was nice.
So for $120, that's what I got.
That's a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
Get all.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. One piece of CoCo 3 docs got in there. That's that color basic quick ref. Which I
The
believe is
green
from
one?
CoCo 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else is CoCo 2. That's
Yeah, because he only had a CoCo 1 and a CoCo 2. His ad said upgraded to CoCo 3, but I knew that's got to be BS.
Now, did you do the obvious thing and tell him about CoCoTALK so he can get interested and then cry because he just sold it all away?
Yeah, no, see, I didn't mention it because I didn't want him to do exactly that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe I'll change my mind about selling it, and I had just driven 50 miles, so
Yeah,
I was
wouldn't have
leaving
done
with that stuff if I had to shoot him.
It's like the old story when they say whenever you meet somebody on Craigslist, it's like, well, one of us is not walking away from this meeting alive, right? So that's always what you worry about when you meet somebody on a Craigslist deal. Very cool. Thanks for sharing there, John Laurey. Great haul, great pickup there. Very nice.
Thank you.
Prior to this, had you had a lot of physical CoCo stuff, or is this like the beginning of a physical collection for you?
No, I do currently have a CoCo 2 and 3. The CoCo 2 has CoCo VGA. I have the 2 meg upgrade and 6309 for the 3 that I haven't installed because with the move and everything's just kind of packed up. But yeah, I have a CoCo 2 and 3 that I've purchased in recent times. And then back in the day, I had a full 2-disc multi-pack interface CoCo 3, with a bunch of discs and such that I wound up giving away at one point because I didn't think it was worth anything at the time.
Yeah.
And B, a friend wanted to get a computer for her kids but couldn't afford it. So I was like, well, it's old and it's ancient, but your kids are like 10, so it won't matter to them.
Right.
And so I gave it away to her so that she could have a computer for her kids. And that was late 90s when I did that.
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. Ron Delvaux, anything you've been working on this week?
Yeah, Paul Barton and I got together and we had a little CoCo thing. And I brought in my disto controller and we took out the CDOS and my ADOS that I had made in 1995. And he put it on he's got a burner,
Yep.
EEPROM burner. And he read my chips and saved them off for me, which was nice. And I gave him some couple of chips to play with, and I saw the gizmo he's working on, and since then he's made a new page on the MIC. It's a 6309 without the E board, single processor.
Okay.
Single board computer.
Yeah. And that was cool to see. And that's about that. And then I made another group for BBSing on the CoCo, and y'all can go look at that sometime. And I've got some BBS.
Everybody liked the page.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. What's cool about specialty page groups is that all the data doesn't get lost in the CoCo group. Like, if you have to go find something, about BBSing, you'd have to search for it, or you just go to the BBS group and take a look. And then same thing with VCC and some of the other stuff that I made.
Okay.
That's it. Goodbye. Thank you.
Very, very cool. All right. Brian.
And look,
yeah.
Hey, You see the three
amigos?
Yeah, on CoCo One.
On CoCo One. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that in ROM or is that just an image viewer?
That's a VG6.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Brian Weasler, anything new for you this week, or did you take the week off?
No, I did get a couple packages in actually. Terry Steen, when he was on last week, and he had mentioned he was selling some systems. I did grab one of his computers. This was a 3004, 26 3004 model, so it was nice and clean.
Yeah.
So I like
the. Got a CoCo 2 melty keyboard on it too.
Oh, melty keyboard, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that he had that. So, but it was just one I wanted to get. But then he also had some other cartridges that he asked if I was interested in. So along with that, I also got a speech sound.
Nice.
Cool.
He also had this is the one of the first ones that
3022.
22, and also a RS-232 pack.
Nice.
And then the one that had me jumping up and down like a little kid in the candy store was the Eliminator by Frank Hogg. So I've been wanting to score one of these for a while. I do want to mention, though, I'm trying to find some information on this one. If anybody out there has a manual for the Eliminator, I put a post out on Facebook or on Discord. Please let me know. I'd love to get a PDF version of it or a scanned version of it.
Let's see the sides.
I will hunt, because I think I do still have my Eliminator manual kicking around somewhere. I got to get this beta of EOU out to the testers first this weekend, but that'll be my next priority.
Okay, sounds good. This one here, this had the Eliminator. So I think Curtis has some comments on his Facebook page or something, or not his Facebook website about this one, because it does have two serial ports on it, and it also offered a parallel port, and then on the side here you have a drive controller, and if I remember right, I believe it would handle 2 hard drives and a couple floppies, all at the
3
same
hard
time.
drives and 4 floppies, and it needed
4
a
floppies.
WD-1002-05 board.
Okay.
Attached to that will help control them, and they're all no-halt.
Can we see the edges of it? There you go.
So there's that one, and then here's your.
So they're all like pin connectors.
And one thing I was going to point out here, if anybody can kind of look in right about here, you see a really big, thick chip in there. That's our beloved favorite real-time clock.
As a real-time clock, it has an auto boot ROM. You can jumper which drive it auto boots off of, any of the floppies, any of the hard drives. The 2 serial ports are 38.4 kilobaud. They do not have the 6551 bugs in them. It's a beautiful board. We ran our work computer off that for a decade.
You still have it?
I still have the Eliminator. Yeah, some of the drives have died since, but Bill and I are going to try to do a resurrection of them here sometime in the spring.
Very good. Yeah, so I'm very excited about this one here. That was a fun one. And then something else I'd also posted on Facebook. There was a listing out on Facebook there that, or not Facebook, excuse me, eBay, that a person had ears cartridge, that ears package by Speech Systems.
What did you say? I can't hear you.
It had the speed, and the ports didn't look right on it, but I thought, well, the price was about right, so I went ahead and purchased it. And then when I got it, I clearly realized that it was not the ears cartridge, but instead it was Speech Systems, but it was their stereo pack that they had sold at one time. So it didn't have I'm a little disappointed. It didn't have the picture on eBay had the nice gold label that they put on a lot of their products. But I did fire up Musica and plugged it into my speakers, and it plays nice sound in stereo. So
it's like an Orchestra 90 clone, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Except it came out before the Orc 90 was ported to the CoCo. So,
but it worked, so it wasn't necessarily a total loss. And I certainly didn't pay as much as what the ears cartridges tend to go for on eBay when they do pop up. So that was good. And just one more quick item. We love our MC10, and so I was able to get a carrying case for it, so I can carry it wherever I want to go.
Nice.
So a nice little fake leather Radio Shack.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
Or you take the MC10 on your LAN parties.
There you go.
and you know what? I'm sure you got a pretty good price on that, so I should probably throw in.
With rising entertainment costs, that's a real bargain.
That's definitely what John Laurey got. So yeah.
There you go. That's all I have to share today.
That's cool. I was looking for the head, shoulders, knees, and toes cartridges, and apparently you didn't get eyes, ears, mouth, or nose. But
no, got shorthanded there, I guess. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fantabulous. How do I get this? Jane, get me off this crazy thing. And we're back. We're back. Thank you, Brian Weasel. Well, history has been made twice. So not only have we had our first woman on the show in Danny O'Connor, but now our second woman in the show in history has just joined us. We've been joined by Alison DeNu, who looks to be muted at the moment. Hello, Allie. Not sure if you're there.
You don't go far, Fletcher.
Perfectly done.
Thank you for being here, joining us on Zoom. And that was Brian Weasler. Alan Murphy, you working on anything this week?
Yeah, I've been working on my game port. Been actually making some progress through it. I got through everything needed to support CoCo VGA. So I'm in the process of programming that support right now.
Nice. Brian Schubring, you working on anything? You're muted.
Yeah.
Working on a microphone.
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you're coming a little cold, but it's better than before.
Well, how's that? That should be a little bit better.
A little better. Good enough.
Okay. Not really working on much of anything, just doing a lot of work stuff, but I've been going through stuff, and look at what I found.
Hold on 1 second. I got to zoom in on you.
Hey, let me switch my view here. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, it is. 16K RAM expansion module. Is that for everyone's favorite MC10 system?
Yeah, I know I've got an MC10 floating around here somewhere because I had converted for being used in my car way back in the day. And I've been just going through stuff, and I've been finding stuff.
Math design.
Pristine.
Lost World Pinball, yes, in the blister packs, all shiny and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, checkers and images for the stuff. Just stuff that I've been looking for. So I'm looking for the MC10 and whatnot.
Okay.
I got it around here someplace, but...
Check all your windows and doors. It might be holding one of them open.
Yeah. Otherwise, not too much really going on. Just been dealing with family issues and such and that. So... that's kind of taken my time the past couple months.
All right. Well, good luck with the family issues. I've got plenty of my own. So yeah.
Yeah, we're just going nuts.
Trust me. Mark Bosley, what you been up to this week? Anything good?
No.
All
Go
right.
to work. Get home.
All right. Jason the Coco Man Reichert, driving to destinations unknown. We're on project updates and acquisitions. Anything you want to share?
Well, I'm still I'm continuing to get those Joey high-res orders out as quickly as possible. Having to work a little more right now on my real job, so that's slowing me down a bit. And looks like it was a slow week for Brian Weasler, right? What was that? That was under a dozen items, wasn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, so Terry Steen still has CoCos on eBay at very reasonable prices. We've got that link, which we'll be posting when we get to the news. I don't know if you want to post that ahead of time, Curtis, or if you have it. But yeah, so Terry has got CoCos at like $50, and at CoCo 3s that's starting at $75 and stuff like that. So he is sharing his collection, trying to find good homes for his collection, and he's not asking redonkulous prices for them. Although the bidding war might bring them to the realm of redonkulous, he's not listing them that way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the bids go to.
Yeah. So
and he fires them all up too and makes sure they're working before they go out the door.
Yeah. So trying to find good homes for CoCos. So Jason, you had mentioned before too, you're getting people reaching out to you, checking on the status of the orders and stuff. And I think this puts us in an interesting situation now, because when we are so spoiled, like I know I am, like Amazon Prime has just changed expectations. It's like I want something, I click buy now, within 48 hours it's on my front door. So that is kind of like set the threshold for what people expect when they order anything now. And I guess not everybody realizes, hey, listen, it's a retro hobby. It's being made by a human being. There's no distribution center here that's in local to you that's got a warehouse full of these things. They've had to be made. So
my distribution center, I have a shelving unit next to my desk there, and I have some boxes and packing tape and bubble wrap. That's my distribution center right there.
Yeah. Cool.
But, I did catch John's acquisitions there also. I still think I got him beat with the $50 CoCo one from Hamvention 2019.
Hey Jason, maybe you should start like a Christmas children's camp where the electronics, they build them for you and then you can like turn around and sell them.
Oh, instead of building like wallets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can call that arts and crafts time. I love it.
Well, no, it's electronics. It's electronics camp.
It's a makers. It's a makers fair. It's called STEM.
Oh,
yeah, it's a
maker fair. Yeah.
Maker fair, right? And just have Kathy Lee Gifford be your head of recruiting for that, and that's real good.
CoCoTALK does not
make sure
labor.
that you turn up. Make sure you turn up the cooling so there is no sweat going on in that shop. Okay, so.
Absolutely. Keep the AC cranked.
Oh, you give them $1 a day or whatever for their work.
Stop your whining, kid. You got a slice of pizza.
That's it. Here, have some cherries and shut up. Now go away, kid. You bother me.
Your numbers are low. No pepperoni on your pizza.
That's it. Sloopy Malibu, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You have anything to show us this week?
I don't have anything to show you. The big project I'm waiting. I'm actually board's been ordered, and once the board's in and working, I'm just going to show the whole completed thing.
Okay.
But on a more immediate note, I was able to get an RS-232 pack, shipped to me. USPS has deemed to lose it between Baltimore and Washington. So hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, I'll get it in my mail. And the other big thing is the aforementioned eBay auctions you were speaking of Terry.
Yeah.
I was the proud winner of one of the CoCo ones.
Nice.
Several of the CoCo 1s and 2s are actually the auctions are ending like around now. So
okay.
So if anyone wants them, they better go right now and go start bidding. But
buy. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, bad news is they'll miss the show, but.
Okay.
You're not missing much.
Well, we posted the link to that, so hopefully somebody who's looking for a CoCo will get that CoCo. Cool.
Yeah.
Nick Marone, anything new and exciting in your world?
Oh, you asked me already.
Did I?
Since the last time, no, nothing's happened.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to count to 1, 2, 3. Nick, hey, anything new happened exciting in your world in the past 3 seconds?
Yes, actually, I'm glad you asked. This just in.
Well, he's excited to be here, so hopefully he's got something exciting to share with us. David Ladd, have you got anything exciting to share with us today? David Ladd going once. David Ladd going twice.
Oh, he'd rather break things.
No, yeah.
Oh, yes. I have my great wheel.
Oh, dear Lord. Nick Marentes, have you bought your own private tropical island anywhere with all of your revenue from your games?
No, I've got to buy the Learjet first so I can fly to the island. So I've got to organise the transportation first. I don't have anything new to announce or show. I will next week, though. So I will have something to show next week that'll blow everyone's socks off.
Oh, my
Hopefully,
goodness.
only their socks.
All right. That's an important disclaimer to make there. Redbeard, Mr. Paul Thayer, I know you've been working on your game and you're helping with the newsletter. What else you got going on in your world?
Those are the 2 things CoCo related. I guess my update, I have a small update. CoCoBon, I've got all of the objects working and everything now updated. Stuff double buffering and everything's working. I got explosions done last night. Not 100% satisfied with them, so they got a little tweaking to do.
How do your neighbors feel about that?
They are silent explosions, so I think they're okay.
I have some of those in my underwear several times a day. So.
Oh, great.
You're oversharing again, Stevie.
There we go.
So it's coming along pretty nicely. And yeah, so that's the explosions are part of like the resetting of the level. And yeah, and then from there it's some level design, and I'm kind of ahead of schedule, a lot farther than I thought I'd be at this point.
Excellent.
And
And
that just jinxed it.
we saved the best for last, and we're putting you on the spot here, Alley Cat. But anything you've been working on that you want to share with the world? I've got a couple of your video clips ready to show later on. And you're muted.
You talking to me?
Yes. Anything you want to share? We're doing updates and acquisitions right now.
Absolutely. I just got a Creality 3D Pro printer.
Okay.
And just arrived today. I haven't even taken it out of the box.
Does it still have that new printer smell?
Yeah. It's still got that new printer. Oh shit! I've got to put this together. Smell.
Oh, so when you say a printer, you're talking about like a 3D printer, not like a dot matrix vintage printer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've got a bed leveling kit coming in a couple of days, and then 3 rolls of PLA.
Okay, very
They're
cool.
printing a bunch of
I think
CoCo
we had
cartridges.
referred to Allison as a female earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter though. I mean, you can call me whatever you like as long as you don't call me late to dinner.
David Ladd's back. So did he have anything?
David, anything you want to share with us? Any updates, acquisitions this week, David?
Nothing I'd like to share right now.
Oh,
okay. David Ladd still.
Wow. So I showed earlier, but I'll show it again. I have a physical book, which is the DeBruce Moore Anniversary CoCo Coffee Table Edition hardbound book, complete with.
And can you zoom up your camera there, Stevie, so the stream can see it better?
The percentage that you're making on the sales of those?
0.0. Right.
Okay.
So I have this. This is the coffee table book. It's very nice, very lovely hardbound book. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. Looking at the pictures, because you can see here in my hands, it's not a giant book, but it's nice. It's very good quality. The thing I really like about it is like the pages are a really interesting kind of pearl finish. It's kind of hard to see in the light, but it's really interesting. It's a really nice production here. So that's a physical book that I got this week, but I also got for Nerdgasm fans, I also got the audio book of Ready Player 2. So I'm not sure who else is listening to this right now with Will Wheaton. So not too many spoilers. I'm still listening. The jury's still out on whether or not I love this or not. I don't hate it, but I just kind of feel like I'm waiting for something to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. But I'm listening with all due intent, hoping for some really good stuff from Ernest Klein and Will Wheaton. So
have you heard any mentions of the dragon yet? Because I hear the dragon's actually mentioned in it.
Well, I haven't got to any mention of the dragon. I'm sorry, what was that, Allie?
You'll never suspect that the butler did it.
No, not at all. Not at all. So.
Oh shit! Did I spoil it? I'm sorry.
No, I've heard that the dragon is featured in this, but so far brand names are not really being mentioned too much, and so it's weird. It's different. It's weird because it kind of picks up literally right after the other one ends and kind of keeps going. But so far it's hard to explain. But it hasn't started the way the first book started. So I'm just really waiting for it to get into the nuts and bolts and the action part, and it's not there yet. So, so I'm not going to give anything away, but I'll continue to give my opinion as I go through it. Cool. So have we covered updates and acquisitions? Everybody's gotten everything off of their chest. Yes.
Anybody hungry?
I'm good, Ron. Are you cooking? Are you taking orders, Ron? Are you going to deliver?
Yeah.
That burger looks nice.
Yeah.
Do you actually put the pickle on the bottom since you're in
We take the pickles out.
Oh.
All right. Well, how about we do this? We are going to take a commercial break. And then we'll be back with Nick Marota's favorite section, the Game On. Game On Challenge, Game of the Week results. We've got a brand new CoCo Thoughts that I believe is game related. We have got a special promotion on a product that we'll be plugging, and we've got a couple of other bonus clips for your viewing and listening pleasure. So we will be back after these words. Ron Delvaux, time to go potty if you need to, and we'll be back.
All right.
Here's a hi-fi bargain from your nearby Radio Shack store. Save $100 on our exclusive realistic 77 AM/FM stereo receiver. Only $159.95 during the sale. With audio component features like FM muting, push-button tape monitor, main remote speaker switching, in a genuine walnut veneer case. The ideal control center for your new music system. The sale-priced realistic 77 receiver. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Tired of your color computer art input device being low res? Joey has you covered again. Switch between 3 joysticks or mice. Select the left or right port on your CoCo. No more swapping joystick ports. Switch between standard and high resolution mode. Supports the Tandy and the Max high resolution mode. Pre-order yours today at cocoman.biz.
The music is back. The MIDI Maestro available now, only from Retro Innovations. Go the number 4 retro.com.
Fletcher, I don't need that report tomorrow.
That's great, JT.
I need it tonight.
Oh, JT.
Fletcher like saved over 300 clams, you dig, when she got her a Model 100 from Radio Shack, like a good little consumer. It's like a word processor, a phone directory, and dialer. You dig, man? It even like, you know, can groove with your office computer.
Fletcher? Fletcher. You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
ESP 8266-01 RS232 TTL Wi-Fi network 4-pin DIN Fitbanger DB9 PC IP DriveWire. Oh, I'm much happier breaking stuff.
Hello, I am the speech and sound pack, and you are listening to CoCoTALK.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. Photon!
Oh no.
Good choice.
Yeah, good.
You never know where he's gonna go with these.
Never fails to surprise.
I could see there was a blue skull today. Power tank testing got me down. Teleport objects all around. There is no defense to be found. Mindless dupes damage with that sound. Next day, Fortress was a hot mess. Backed up plasma droids put me in a bind. Hidden exit way is hard to find. Time goes on, my power bar decline. The end of the maze I could not find. Photon! 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 Now
That's gold.
I think that's my favorite yet.
Oh, dear Lord.
Thank you, Samuel. That was awesome.
Oh God, I'm dead.
You know, it's funny. People try to guess what parody you're going to do.
We were
and
brainstorming all week on this.
We come to the conclusion that you just cannot be predicted.
You just cannot.
He said defense. He's my buddy now.
Oh, Ron approved.
Well, before we go
Simon Cowell is coming around.
Yes. I was going to say, our resident music critic, how did that fare for you, Ron Delbo?
Well, his music still sucks, but he mentioned defense.
Oh, wow.
He mentioned defense.
Yeah. Something
Come
positive
on,
to say.
That's what's known as a backhanded compliment.
Well, so before we get into the results, we have a few more bonus clips to show for you. Number one, our sponsors demand that this is done right now. So this is for a sponsor. This is what pays the bills, folks. Yeah, I'm a sellout. This is what pays the bills, folks. But here you go.
Had enough of 2020? Well, now you can get the Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. CoCo Fest Edition digital copy for $1 off until the end of the year.
But this edition never appeared at CoCo Fest.
Buck off.
Wasn't the original version free?
Buck off.
Haven't you been pushing this trash for over a year now?
Buck off. Get it at cococorner.itch.io. Remember, you've still paid too much.
Oh my
Shameless. Shameless.
My goodness. But we got more. We got bonus clips. I've got clips I've been holding on to, and I've been saving these for Ron Delvo because Ron Delvo is a huge fan of the song parody. And we did have, let's say, a few weeks of Joust, and we had a week off, so I think we're ready for a little bit more Joust. So that's the setup to this next clip. So enjoy this earworm for your listening pleasure. And Ron Delvo, please feel to chime in with your honest and opinions on this one here. Whoops, hold on, wrong clip.
That's pretty good. Like that one.
CoCoTALK,
Hello,
we'd like to thank the
welcome to
patrons who
CoCoTALK.
sponsor our show. So our heartfelt gratitude goes out
So the song is
to
just trained.
Stevie, I'm glad to be here. How are you
Let it
doing?
run.
Brendan
Let it
Donahue,
run.
Brian Weezer,
Thanks for coming to rehearsal.
Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Patrick Rand.
Stop.
After all, this is a professional show.
Blue wings, baby, lava lady, got cramping in my hand, flapping by, floating eyes, with the respawn pants, dragon level. Has me disheveled, bouncing in a land. Oh, my black beauty, my ostrich is a cutie, tiny lancer in my hand.
Sing along if you know the words, everybody.
Survival wave, barely saved, 2,000 points ahead, bouncing back, flapping flat, dragon's not that bad. Stop those eggs from sprouting legs, landing in the drain. Islands vanish, I can barely manage to keep from flying through the swarm.
But oh, how it feels so real, lying here with no one near, only you, and you can hear me when I say softly, softly, slowly.
Everybody sing along.
Hold me closer, flying Lancer.
Uh-oh.
Count the wing flaps on the joystick. Set me down on floating islands.
The words are on the screen. Sing along.
Staying alive, it is a real trip. Hold me closer, flying Lancer. Down the wing flaps on the joystick. Set me down on floating islands. Staying alive, it is the real trail.
Oh, Lord. I tell you, the amount of talent that goes into this show will never be fully appreciated.
I like David Lord's comment. May I suggest a group license for AutoTune?
A Groupon.
A Groupon.
That's a good call.
Great.
And then
parody.
8-Bits in the Basement made a comment too earlier. So if I take a copy of Nightmare Highway, they will give me $1 off. Did I get that right? And Ken can make it respond with $1 off.
Remember, when
Ken also said a better voice than Gimes, but that bar is so low you'll need a shovel to get over it.
Oh, that's right. So remember, whenever you say Nightmare Highway, you also say Nightmare Highway. There we go. Very cool. That was given to us by Allison. Thank you very much.
Nightmare Highway.
Talent galore. Nick Marotta, are you ready for your favorite part of the show?
I am.
All right, this is the part where Nick Marotta's name is mentioned and he gets to have lots of airtime. So here we go, everybody.
High Score Challenge.
All right, and welcome to another week of results. This week we played Photon with 18 scores submitted. Allison, 160. Mark B, 250. Joshua Craker, 260. Jim Rye, 295. Sheila Craker, 375. 8-Bits in the Basement, 410. Me, 440. Rogelio Perea, 465. Just Mike, 1,385. Tom C, 1,580. David Craker, 1,795. David Ladd, 2,860. Tasman, 3,100. Ken Reichard, 3,260. Canadian Retro Things, 3,650. L. Curtis Boyle, 4,530. Sloopy Malibu, 4,800. And the number one score this week belongs to Redbeard Polly T with 6,635. Nice score. Thank you for your score submissions and another great week of gaming.
Hey, Polly T, good for you.
Thanks, I got lucky.
How you doing? Good job. Interesting game. I was watching Sloopy play it. He was doing a lot of live sharing on Discord this week. To me, this is a game that I think I'd much rather watch other people play than try to play myself. Not quite my cup of tea, but I do appreciate it, and I did enjoy watching Sloopy play it this week. So, good job to all the players this week.
Yeah, I was not very good at it. I love puzzle games, but this one I just could not. I guess I didn't have the patience. I would just plow through the dupes and end up dying. So that's not a really good strategy. So I won't be talking strategy in this one. We'll talk to not just to play the game.
Pull me closer, flying Lancer.
Sorry
all
about
right,
that.
Here's the rainbow review.
Addictive.
Addictive arcade action at its best. So obviously they thought this was a good game. It has the mark of a classic game. Its goal is easily understood. Okay. Controls are simple. Okay. But no. Anyway. So anyway, the got a good review in Rainbow.
Very
Here's gameplay submitted. Thank you for Canadian Retro Things. He has been doing on his show the GameON Game of the Week for the past few weeks, and this week's no exception. So we'll have that playing while we talk about the game. So I think we have the top 3 scorers all here: Sloopy, Curtis, Sloopy, and Polly T. You guys are all here.
Yeah.
So I'm unqualified, so I'll leave you guys to talk about what you thought of the game and strategies and whatnot. So let's start with Polly T. How did you achieve your score, and what strategies did you find were useful?
So
and we don't believe you were lucky.
I was, because level 14, I just happened to get by one night and got up to 18, and that's how I got the score that I did. I mean, the biggest thing is picking your battles in this game, because there's some levels that it's easier to kill the droids on than others, and yeah, you get 75 points I think per droid, but there's some that it's just not worth trying to figure it out. It's easier to just kind of fool it, I guess, in a way. So there was a lot of times where, like, there was one level in particular where there was like 4 sides surrounding the exit, and I kind of fooled the droid to go to the other side, and then I would sneak in past the dupes and it wouldn't come back in and get me, kind of a deal. And yeah, just stuff like that. Just trying to be simple, and sometimes powering through the dupes was the way to go. Sometimes I took the Nick Baroda strategy.
But it was more successful for you, obviously.
I guess so, yeah.
Because I was like the 5th from the bottom, I think. So, and I was.
It is important to kill the dupes or the droids, because you get the power bars, and I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I had 5 power bars going into level 14, I probably would have never made it past there. I still don't know how I did it. So. Right.
Yeah, I can say that I had 5 power bars going to level 14, and I didn't get past it. So.
This is completely luck.
So do you remember what levels you got to then? What level did you make it to, Polly?
I made it all the way to 19 last night, but when I submitted my score, it was 18.
And how about you, Curtis? What level?
I made 14. In the past, when I used to play this game more regularly years ago, I actually used to make it up to like 22, 23, I think, when the first time warp thing shows up. But I've totally forgotten some of my strategies. I was trying to relearn them all, and I just didn't have time. So
sucks to get older too, right?
Yeah. The reflexes are down. I'm half blind. Yeah.
Sloopy, do you remember what level you made it to?
14 or 15. My most of the week I was just trying to figure out how to kill the droids in the lower levels easier, and then when I finally wasn't even thinking, I was like, oh, holy cow, it's Friday. I need to actually do a real high score run. And because I was too busy in the lower levels trying to figure out, by the time I got to the upper levels, I didn't have enough practice in them, so I didn't know how to solve them at all, let alone killing the droids, and ended up with only 48,000.
I spent a half an hour watching Photon go on the screen with the different colors.
Yeah, that's pretty cool effect.
Pretty mesmerizing.
So what did you three think of it? What did you three think of the game itself? Like, are you fans?
I like this game. I think it's a little bit too hard after like level 13, just because there's so much debris. You're gonna spend so much time trying to figure out what your path is.
And there's the Photon those guys were talking about, that pink blob, which locks onto you. If you let it get free, it'll lock on you and chase you around.
Yeah, it's a plasma droid.
Plasma droid.
It won't go through. It'll avoid the dupes. So it won't try to. It does have some intelligence in terms of where it goes, but it does try to lock on you and get you. So sorry. So Curtis, what did you think? What do you think of the game?
It's still I think my favorite original CoCo 3 game that's not based on anything else, because it's a completely original concept, and it was briefly ported to the PC. There was a guy who did it without the background music, which I should mention is actually one of the best background music, because actually the track changes for every level too, so you're getting a ton of original music. It's got digitized speech and a snarky Ludwig, which is an anagram for evil dude. Actually, when you get to the end of the game, which I've never done, though I do know some people back in the day did it, there's 62 levels. The 63rd levels where you take on the guy that's taunting you in between every level. And there's, you know, a bunch of other things that happen later on too. But it's actually one of my favorite CoCo 3 games. It's kind of like Grabber because it's a multimedia CoCo 3 experience.
Yeah.
With all the music, the really good sound effects, digitized speech, originality, super smooth graphics. Like I really like the game. It is hard. It seems to be harder now than it was for me 20 years ago, I have to say. But
again,
you know, I practiced it a lot then.
You're getting old too, like I said.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is the practice levels like that you can't get past. Curtis, when I was on 19 last night, there was like a little red arrow. Do you know what that is?
Oh, geez. I have to actually get to play up at that level again to remember. I barely remember the time warp. I remember it was a spinning triangle. It's on
yeah,
level
it was a
23.
spinning red triangle that was in level 19. And basically, like that level, it tells you to outrun the plasma droid. And yeah, I got screwed in about 2 seconds.
So you can see
He's like dodging that thing. Oh, he got it.
Yeah. So this Canadian retro things. He showed off.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Sloopy, how about yourself? What did you think of it? What did you think of this game? And did you know of it before?
I did not know of it before. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite games on the CoCo because it's like a combination of puzzle and logic games, which are basically my favorite type of games.
With some arcade stuff thrown in too.
Yeah, it's actually.
I think it's an action puzzle game, is how it's defined. The genre. Yeah, Canadian retro things kill both. Well, I had to kill the other one because it was blocking the exit. But yeah, good job.
Yeah, but
actually, no, I think I got past this level by quickly going in the exit and hoping the plasma droid wouldn't get me.
Pulling was a little bit easier to be more fun.
About the only thing that I didn't like about it was when your back is against the wall, you can't pull an object towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the control mechanics?
Can the green balls hurt you?
Everything hurts you.
Yeah, everything hurts you.
What did you think of the? What did you guys think of the control mechanics?
I can't think of any other way that you would do it.
No, the PC version tried a different control mechanic and it was far worse. Oh my god, it was hard to control.
I found pushing was good, but I found pulling was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a bit to get used to. I have to agree.
Strategy, though. Yeah. You know.
For those of you that use real hardware, did you find that like a self-centering joystick was probably the best?
Yes.
Because Bomb Threat, which is Rick Adams' game, has a pull mechanic, and I found his way of doing it was better. Like you didn't have to be a spaced way to pull things. You go up to it and then just move back, and it would suck it with you. I wish you would have done that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of understand that too, but then it takes away some of the challenge too. But
yeah,
I think the game's
as it currently stands, you need that extra space to pull, and Rick's you wouldn't. So
yeah, I think it's challenging enough. You know, that a mechanic like that, similar to what you're describing, Nick, would probably be better actually.
What did you guys use for controllers?
Deluxe.
Yep, me too.
Sloopy?
Keyboard.
Okay, so that blue ball is the only thing that can kill the purple blob thing?
All of the dupes can. Yeah.
Yeah, all the dupes can.
They're all the same.
They're mindless. They just follow the track you lay for them, or the.
Yeah.
Now, Curtis you have some doubt, Curtis, to what you said last week about whether the plasma droid actually does. Sorry, whether the dupes actually do get killed. You were saying you're not sure.
I seem to remember, and I might be remembering wrong because I last played this game regularly back in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I thought if you had the same dupe kill several of the plasma droids, I think it actually disappears after a while. But
so, the dupes take damage as they go through.
I mean, honestly, I'm really enjoying watching this video because I feel like yeah, I kind of get it and I see what they're doing and I enjoy it. Like I'd be a good spectator for this game.
Yeah, I agree.
But I had a hard time playing pipes. I found pipes to be too mentally challenging for me. So like this whole, I'm not good with puzzles and mental challenges.
Yeah, I was hoping Frodo would have more time to play it because he did do one quick gameplay on the stream there, and he had the color set wrong because he had to play it in MAME. It doesn't work on the Mister. This is one problem we hit this week early on, is that on the emulators, what is it, the down and the right are reversed?
Yes.
And then Tim Linder and I was watching kind of as he was doing it, we found out that Jeff Steidel used a trick when he programmed it to use less CPU cycles to sample joysticks.
You want to say what the trick was, Curtis?
Yeah, I was just about to explain it.
Okay, please go ahead.
So basically what he does is he sets up the PIA and the MUX to read the X-axis, which, I mean, every joystick thing does. But then he goes and as soon as he gets it all set up and ready to go, then he immediately tells it to switch over to the y-axis. And then immediately following that, he reads the value. Now, there's an actual hardware delay when you switch. It takes a few CPU instructions before it switches over. So he did this as a sneak way to not have to put no ops and timing delays. You can actually have actual running code and get out of it faster. So he tells it, switch to the Y, immediately reads it, which is still reading the X because the hardware hasn't had time to switch over yet. And then he grabs that value, saves it out, and then he reads it again, and now it's the y-axis because the hardware has had time to switch over. The problem with the emulators is they consider that this happens instantaneously. So when you switch to the Y, it's reading the Y, so it's flipping it around. And that was the problem. So he did a quick hack where he basically cheated and just told the code, down is actually right and right is actually down to get around it. And apparently he's got a patch for MAME itself now to take into account the delay the hardware needs to switch states.
So that was, do you think that was that a clever hack, do you think? Or do you think it caused...
Oh yeah, very clever hack. I mean, this is like Sockmaster level stuff where you're taking the timing of the hardware into consideration beyond what the specs say.
Jeff was a really good programmer.
And
he did Contras, he did Graph Express, he did this.
Yeah, we were just talking about this last week when we had Tim Lindner on about this, about, how certain programs will really find the limitations of emulation, And this is one of those examples. So, kind of
Canadian Retro Things said it was impossible to play with Black Beauty. Well, it was definitely difficult with the Black Beauty because you were constantly having to center your joystick and to pull and that sort of thing. So I would agree it was definitely Black Beauty was challenging on this one.
Yeah, I mean this game was released late enough that pretty well most people had CoCo 3s had deluxes by this point. So.
That level that's being played right now is the one that I was talking about earlier, where I go off to the right side and have the droid follow me over there, and then I go back over through so I'll go off to that far right side, the right lower corner, have him follow me over there, and then I go up and open up the exit, and I just go right in.
Yeah, you charge through the middle there and go open. Yeah, same technique I use.
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to do that as opposed to trying to figure out a way to kill it or whatever.
Yeah, it takes a fair bit of patience to set it up to kill the plasma droid. And that patience I don't really have, I guess.
It depends on the level.
Yeah, some of it's pretty easy.
Like that one right there, it's not worth it.
No. Yeah, that level is a lot easier than what he's doing.
But I have to say, man, is it satisfying when you do kill one of those buggers? Because when you get to one of these levels where you can't, when you finally get to off them, it's like, yeah.
It's a very beautiful game, and the music is really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 4-voice. What did he say on his resume? 5 or 6 kilohertz, 4-voice sound with chords and everything. 60 frames per second, rock solid. Yeah, it's a really good game, and the original concept, like I said, there's nothing like this on any other platform. There was a PC version that was substandard. It was never an arcade game. It was never on anything else. So it's a unique CoCo 3 game.
We'll give Canadian Retro Things a free ad since he since he always provides us gameplay videos.
Oh yeah,
great graphics.
So Canadian Retro Things on YouTube. It's a great channel. He does other things besides CoCo, but he does CoCo quite a lot.
Yeah, and if you guys get good at it, there's 62 levels plus the 63rd where you defeat the guy you're seeing there, the guy with the spinning balls around him. That's your ultimate.
Oh, by the way, Tim Lindner
goal.
said you did a fantastic explanation.
No, thanks, because I was kind of making up as I went along. So.
Take it till you make it.
Did it fiddle any bits in the process?
Yes, it fiddled the mucks. Muxed it right up.
Buck off. All right.
One thing I wish we could do briefly, though, I don't know if you have anything handy for doing that, Nick, but is to actually let it play the sound so people can hear what the music's like, because it's a full multimedia. It's like a more modern game where you have full multi-track sound running the whole time.
Oh yeah, I'm not sharing sound right now. So.
Heck is this guy doing?
You're very greedy.
This guy's Canadian Retro Things. So be nice.
Oh wow! So Raven Wolf just chimed in, "Hey CoCo fanatics, I'm so glad I found this stream. Just bought a great CoCo 2 setup from eBay, reliving my childhood from 35 years ago."
Oh, fantastic!
Glad to hear that, Raven. I wonder if you
Welcome,
got one of
Raven.
if you got one of Terry Steen's.
This is the GameON challenge you're watching. If you join us on Discord, you can take part in the games. We do a fresh one every week, and I'll be announcing what the next one is in a few minutes.
Very cool. Yeah, I love watching this. I love watching this gameplay. The game itself is kind of mesmerizing to watch, but I know I would get really frustrated if I had to think and try to solve puzzles if I tried to actually play this. So,
yeah, I agree with you. I like watching it. It's very interesting.
Well, how far did you get, Nick? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, level 5 or 6. I don't know. I only had like 400 points, 14. I don't even remember what my score was.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think
it's a very low
some
scoring
of the
game.
As I mentioned in some of the chats on Discord this week, this is not a game I normally go for scores in. I usually see how many levels can I get through.
Because you only get, what, 25 to hit when you have to hit the exit or something? Like, it's very low.
Yeah, and the plasma droids are 75, I think, like Paulie said. But for me, it's the exploration part of it, where you get onto that next level. Like, you can pick the first 15 levels when you start, so you can kind of see them all. That's one nice thing about it, too, because a lot of games back in the day, you had to earn your way through everything. And if the game's hard, you'll never see the later levels, so you kind of feel ripped off. This one, you get to play the first 15, but then when you start exploring the levels past that, and you're seeing stuff that some people have never seen, type thing.
Cashman was like that too, being able to jump to certain zones.
We just rank by score for fun, but it's meaningless.
No, some games lend themselves more to it than others. This is one that you can go for score. Like if you're trying to be perfect and kill all the plasma droids, then you'll get a better score. But it's like Paul said, I prefer seeing if I can get on the next level rather than trying to figure out for 15 minutes how to trap the last plasma droid.
The first time I saw this game was when I think Curtis, you were on Amigos Retro Gaming, was doing some CoCo.
Yeah, Boat loved it. He loves puzzle games, and he was playing it. He got so distracted by the music because he's not used to a CoCo being generating music like this. He's bopping and said, "This tune rocks, man!" And then he died.
So I thought it was an interesting concept. I never played it before, and so I chose it. And we're due for a CoCo 3 game this week, and I thought it was a very, very interesting, pretty-looking game. And I thought, we'll it. So,
this is like.
And then after I picked it, it turned out that some people in chat were saying, "Oh, I love this game," and great choice. And so it worked out really well.
Yeah, this game is like David Ladd level pretty here. So it's.
This is a love it or hate it game because some people just don't like puzzle games, just don't like the gameplay. I mean, they admit it looks and sounds awesome, but as far as the playability goes, you have to like this type of game, or obviously you're not gonna, stick with it type thing. But for those that like that type of game, it's got a lot of extra gameplay because it takes you a long time to figure out the puzzles and how to move things around to find the exit. Sometimes the exit's completely covered; you have no idea where it is.
It was a fairly successful week. We had 18. Actually, no, it was very weird. We had 18 scores, and one of the goals of this segment is to show games that people may not have seen before, me included. That's why I do ask for requests. If you have a request, send me a message in Discord. Tell me what your request is. And by the way, I made a pinned post in Discord that shows all the games we've done so far because people have been asking me. So you can, I'll now keep that list updated. So yeah, if you have a request for a game, CoCo 2 or CoCo 3 or Dragon, not Dragon, I guess. Sorry. Well, I guess you play Dragon next one.
No, you can pick games that originated in the Dragon that we've gotten ported to the CoCo 3 correct controls.
But if you have a CoCo 2 or CoCo 3 requested game, please send me a private message and I'll add it to the list.
Let me just throw this out there since you mentioned the Dragon. I don't see why we couldn't pick a game that is a quote unquote Dragon game that we could just play on XRoar.
Yeah, we could. I did say
and while we're going that far, I would like to see an MC10 game or 2 or 3 thrown in the mix here too. And if you don't have an MC10, there's emulators for that too. And as we just mentioned, MAME is one of those emulators, but there is a specific MC10 emulator that's Windows only, and then there's MAME.
Yeah, let's expose ourselves to different games we haven't seen before. That's a great idea.
Yeah, the CoCo family should be involved in the game playing segment, not just the CoCo itself.
And since we feature so many Dragon games on the news, it might be fun to get us all playing one because there's a bunch I've seen that I really liked seeing that I wouldn't mind playing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, they had a really good original market of the Dragon. I mean, they did a lot of port overs from stuff we had in the U.S. and Canada and Australia, for that matter, but not a lot of it until recently has come across the other direction. So.
Yeah, maybe we'll throw MC10 games into the mix. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, basically it would be the Jim Gary special at that point.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not quite true. There's a few others. There's a few like Flag and Bird and a few others that have been ported over there too. So.
Yeah. Actually, I have an actual MC10 too, so give me an excuse to use it.
Right.
Yeah, and the MC10 actually has the online one too. So does the Dragon, for that matter. There's the online XRoar and there's the online MC10. So even if you don't have
a web-based emulator for the MC10,
yeah, even if you don't have the emulators pre-installed or can't figure out how to get them set up, you can play it on the web and just go for it.
Cool.
So we ready to move on?
I am ready to find out what the game is next week. And for those of you wondering, I never know. I like to be surprised. So.
No, Stevie gets grumpy if I tell him. He likes to be surprised.
I like to be genuinely surprised.
So speaking of requests, the following game is a request given to me by David Craker on behalf of his son Joshua Craker. So can anybody guess what this game is?
Color car action.
Ooh.
Color car action, yes.
One of Dave Dye's very first games.
So this game was given. This game was given its the blessing by the author. So actually, Curtis made enhanced, optimized versions for 6809 and 6309 that run because the original game was dog slow. And it took away from the enjoyment.
Dave was just learning. That's one of his early ones. He learned more techniques as he went.
So Curtis actually made optimized versions, which we will have linked in the...
What was the... I'm getting this confused. Was it Demolition Derby that Tandy had on a cartridge?
Yep.
Okay. Which is similar, but not quite the same.
Doesn't have the jumping part.
Okay, right.
This is bump and jump.
This is bump and jump. Yeah, I remember playing the 6309 version of this when you had optimized this. Yeah, I would actually. This is right up my alley here.
So because the author gave his blessing for this one, we will have these pinned in the Discord channel, the optimized version. So if you're 6809 or 6309, you can find the version.
And if you're not on Discord, they're on the Color Computer Archive too, so you can grab them there as well.
Here's Curtis's page. Hey, Curtis, look, Buzzard Bait is better than Lancer. Oh, you finally came around.
Oh, geez, somebody hacked my site.
Excellent.
Damn Russians.
It's about time you came around.
What's your IP address, Nick? I got to ban that from my site now.
No. I just went to the web designer and changed it.
Buzzard Bait is better than Lancer.
Oh,
I don't think Dave Dyes would agree with that statement, to be honest. I'll ask him.
Does Buzzard Bait have its own song parody? No, it does not.
Yeah.
Hold me closer, flying Lancer.
Just wait till next week.
So thank you, Joshua, for the suggestion this week. This is a game I love this game. I'm really looking forward to this one. So that'll be our game for the week. And thank you, everybody, for your submissions this week. Thank you.
On my site here, I'll just mention, too, you can see download the original color card. That's the original unoptimized version, but the link below that actually links to the Color Computer Archive, both 6809 and 639 optimized versions. So if you're not on Discord, that's a way to go grab them quick.
If you're not on Discord, shame on you. Get on Discord.
Link already posted to the stream.
All right. So thank you, guys, for another fantastic week of gaming, and we'll see you next week.
Fabulous. How much gaming news do we have? Do we have a fair amount of gaming news?
Not too many. There's 8 sets of stories. So, yeah. You want to go straight into it? Or do you
well, very briefly, we have another clip to play here. We've got lots of bonus content on today's show. So another clip for you here. One of Ron Delvaux's favorite song parodies. We got another song parody to play for you. Before we get into... Jason Reichard wants to come in from the waiting room. When you put it to a vote, should we let him in? Anyone? All right,
just boot him out.
It'd be dangerous.
So
I've admitted them already.
Here's a little song parody for you before we get into Game On News. Coming at you on the countdown, number 9.
Who can take a P mode with colors for 2? Pause to make a sound for a second or for 2. The Tandy Man. The Tandy Man can. Who can buy a rainbow for $8 on eBay? In the back you'll find out how to expand your memory. The Tandy Man. The Tandy Man can. 'Cause he programs it in BASIC and makes the programs good.
This is a Jim Gary dedication or what?
Hold on. All right, let's get ready for some Game On News with L. Curtis Boyle. All right, L. Curtis Boyle.
Okay. You guys seen that?
Yes, Cuthbert Dragon.
Yeah, so he's found some more cassette cases. He's got a bunch of new ones there because he was starting to get the ones where he didn't have the original cassettes here. So he's got this week, he's got Mubungli, I think it's pronounced, Cop to Snatch, Grid Runner, which is very loosely based on Centipede, but kind of combines Nick Marenti's Neutroid and Centipede in one game, which is really weird. Defense, Junior's Revenge, Beam Rider, Space Wreck, Ultrapede, Cosmic Zap, Scarf Man, the original 4K CoCo game, and Starman Jones. So I figured I would show.
I just want to see Cop to Snatch because it's got Snatch in the title. I know we've seen it before, but the 8-year-old in me wants anything that has Snatch in it to be showcased. So sorry for derailing the train there, folks.
Yeah, that's what Stevie does.
Just as bad as Cop a Feel.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
So I thought I'd show you Grid Runner because this is not one that made it to the North American market regularly. And like I said, it's a weird combination of Neutroid and Centipede. So it's a bit unique.
Check it out. Who can take a cop to snatch? I like the music. Salamander Software. Ooh, that's my favorite P mode colors right there. Oh yeah, it's very Centipede-y, but like on a grid.
And you got those things on the grid shooting at you. Which
Okay,
is kind of
yeah,
like
there's
Neutroid.
the Neutroid connection. And who are you?
You're that little orange thing in the middle.
Ah, okay. Oh, I like the title screen. Grid Runner. Your grid has been zapped.
So if Nick Morentis is still here, did this inspire you to make Neutroid? Have you ever seen this before?
No, it didn't, but I knew about Grid Runner back then. It was a pretty popular game in the UK.
It was a cross-platform then, I'm presuming?
I'm not sure which one it came on first, whether it was a Spectrum game. It was by that Jeff Minter, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think it's a Jeff Minter game. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool, interesting one there. I'd never really seen before. Was there any of the other ones you want to see, or should I go on to the next story? Besides your
Pogo
Cop to
Joe.
Snatch.
Cop to
What's
Snatch.
that?
Pogo Joe, to semi-graphics.
Yeah, we showed
saw
that last week.
Last week, it's like a ping. It's like
Oh,
a
did we?
Hubert.
You'd already fallen asleep by then, Nick. So
Go ahead, let
Yeah,
Nick,
I probably did.
Let Nick see it. It's worth seeing it again. It's very impressive.
Hey, just for the sleepy people from last week.
They're like little bouncy spring things.
Blinkies.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had the question I asked last week is that they gotten permission from you to do this in semi-graphics, Nick, since I think you have the patent on that mode at this point. So it's good though. I like it.
Yeah, it is. Very colorful too.
Yeah. Putting the color in color computer games.
I'm gonna have to
So I think
use
most of the
that
other
one.
ones we've seen before because a lot of reports. Ultrapede is another Centipede clone, actually made by a North American company, but not a very well-known one, and then sold in
Ultrapede?
the UK.
I don't know if I've seen that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a fairly basic one, but it's
yeah.
made by Rainbow Software, which actually was a North American company.
I don't know why people use those colors.
How about Beam Rider?
They haven't got a choice.
Beam Rider, I think we. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's the
Hey,
Spectral
Grant
one.
Leedy just joined us. You know, they could take a page from Polaris and do a P mode Centipede that mixed up the 4 colors many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this game. And I never knew that there was a game called Electric Yo-Yo at the time. I thought this was an original game because I had never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I had seen it. I hadn't played it too much in the arcade, but I had seen it.
Yeah, I remember this game. It's a cool game.
I like this game. It's fun.
For the arcade, though, it was a very original concept.
Yeah, I would actually think I would like to put in my request to have this be in the GameON challenge at one point in time. This is a fun game.
Oh, can you tell me what the game is called
It's
again?
called
Beam Rider.
Beam Rider.
Beam Rider.
Beam Rider? Okay.
By Spectral
That's
Associates.
For CoCo? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're looking at it on the Dragon, but yeah.
And Dragon.
Originally on the CoCo, but then Spectral did a lot of cross licensing with Microdeal.
It has game action sound.
Yes, it does.
And lots of different screens too. There's a lot of different, setup mazes.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, it's on the list.
There you go.
How do we get a cup?
You know how the priority queue works, right, Stevie?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
prioritized
What are the bribes
by
up
the
to now,
amount
Nick? I haven't checked in lately.
What's
$27.
What's
the cup?
Starman Jones?
Starman Jones.
We've shown that one before.
I must have.
Oh
fallen
yeah, that's
asleep
where the
again.
guy's like in his recliner.
Yep.
The guy is
the lazy man's defender, because you just kind of sit back with your virtual reality helmet
like,
and float around shooting stuff.
I'd like to save the universe, but I'm only going to do it from the comfort of my easy chair. So as soon as you get a jetpack on that, put me in, Coach.
At least he isn't on the pooper doing poopers.
This is the only jetpack that doesn't burn your butt.
But he's peeing on things, isn't he?
Yeah.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
He's got a good range, though. I got to say, he's got some powerful musculature there, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
He goes everywhere. But
the scrolling is smooth.
Yeah. I know, like I said, he's getting back to the point where he actually has the cassettes, so you can actually see the UK artwork, which is unique. We never had that.
A lot of people on Instagram will do things like that with album covers, where they'll show like the vinyl on the turntable with the artwork behind that, and that's like a whole Instagram thing. So the fact he's doing it with the cassette artwork is pretty cool.
Next up, this is starting the Jim Gary segment. So he did a version of Star Trek here, which is based on an old HP Basic version from 1972. So this
For God's sakes,
way
Jim.
back. So he did a brief video
the
here. Where
original
he kind of
Centerline Engineering version. Mike Mayfield.
Sorry, what was that? I missed that.
This is the original Centerline Engineering version. So this guy was basically in high school, and he was talking his way into programming stuff on the HPs. They just let him come in and write games and stuff. He was hoping to form a game company, but then this Star Trek ended up in the HP software collection and on every kind of machine ever.
Yeah, there's numerous ports of the CoCo I've played of this. You know, some gussy it up with graphics and stuff, but basically the same game.
Warp factor.
And all text-based because you had to run on terminals back in 72, so.
I remember playing this on an ASR teletype back in 73 or 74. I wrote a bunch of games based on this because it was the fun thing I knew at the time.
That's nice.
Yeah, I think the earliest machine I remember playing this on would have been the PET, probably about 78, 79, somewhere in there. Anyway, he did a short version here where he just kind of showed, the basic gameplay. And then he decided to do a long play where he actually plays like for 20 minutes or something. Or just over 20 minutes. So he plays I won't show it here, but he plays like a game start to finish type thing.
This could also be a bathroom game.
Do you ever get to make it with the green chick in this one?
No, that I think came in the later VGA version.
Okay, cool.
And then another game. Go ahead.
What is Kiss,
Right,
Captain Kirk?
It's got a green screen background, so it lends itself to that. So.
That was the game that got me kicked off of the timeshare system in high school, though.
What, Star Trek?
Spent too much time playing this and not writing code. I said, well, you got to go.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to do that because the pet we had two Commodore pets for the entire school. So you had to timeshare the students on it physically. So you only have 10 minutes. You wouldn't be fiddling with games too often.
Somebody's standing over your shoulder waiting for you to get done.
Yeah.
I didn't know they charged the school by the minute. I'm honest.
So this here, speaking of the Commodore PET, is actually a port from a Commodore PET game from 1979 called Rat Run, where you have to find the cheese in a 3D maze.
Ooh.
So that's another one that Jim has ported over.
Don't talk about cheese. I'm getting hungry. All right, so cursor number 13, Rat Run, setting up maze.
Let's zoom in a little bit here.
Is it visual at least, like a text graphics maze? Oh, it's actually semi-graphics. Oh, look at that.
I remember this game on the Model 1. If you don't find the cheese after a while, it starts reciting lines from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it starts showing you like this fake cheese. And it's like, is this the real cheese or is this just fantasy?
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that part.
Actually,
That's
with the
cool.
green on black, it could be
That's
like
funny.
a TRS-80 type thing. It's very
Oh
monochrome.
yeah, it
looking,
was very much identical to this here, except the
very
white.
monochrome.
Yeah.
Now, I think if I remember, he actually does find the cheese here. Let me see if I can find that.
Hi-ho, the dairy-o, Jim finds the cheese.
And that not on the bottom number, I think, is the distance from the cheese, isn't it?
Oh, okay. It's not corn. Oh, there it is.
Is
There's
that
the cheese. Oop, there it is. Delicious. Nothing like picking up a piece of cheese, random piece of cheese off the floor in a maze.
And calling it delicious.
Yes, delicious.
It does look like a poop emoji, doesn't it?
Somebody left a perfectly good piece of cheese on the floor. I think I'll eat it.
They don't have brown.
It's yellow poop.
There
Then
it
you
is.
get
Now
the
here's
final
the
solving map
here's
at the
the overhead of the maze. Now, what are the red and blues? Were those dead ends or something? Or
the red and blue is your start position where you found the cheese.
Okay. Start
And then
stop.
I think it has green dots that signify which hallways you actually went down versus ones you didn't
I
want.
see. The green dots is the path he took. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So part of the maze here.
That is pretty cool. That's impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good job, Jim Gary. For God's sakes, Jim, he made another game. All right, so.
I won't show all of this because these are like 3-hour streams. Now we've had Simon WGB on here before because he does Twitch streams and he randomly mixes between modern systems and old systems. His first computer I ever had was a Dragon 32, so he has a special love for that. But he's changing the way he's doing his long form games because he doesn't do the quick 5-minute hit of a game. He plays it for like half an hour or an hour, trying to get a decent score. What he's changing now is because he had a lot of people getting confused, especially the youngins. Because they would come in and they'd see him play some PlayStation 4 game, and then the next day they come in, it's like a Dragon or a BBC Micro or something. They were going, what the heck? So now he's going to be doing these in little theme packs. He's going to play the same system for like 2 or 3 days in a row, 3 to 4 hours per stream, going through some of his favorite games on that particular machine, and then he'll switch. So he's actually going to only do like 2 systems a week. So starting on Thursday, he started doing Dragon stuff here, and he did one on Thursday, he did one on Friday, and he actually was live streaming before our show started today. So he had another one going on, but he played like in this particular case, he played Manic Miner, Mr. Dig, Cuthbert, and the Golden Chalice. That was 3.5 hours of just those. The next day, yesterday, he did Doodlebug, Dungeon Raid, Hunchback, Trapfall, known as Cuthbert in the Jungle in the UK, The Dark Pit, and Cruising, which is one of his favorites. And actually, it's a pretty fun game. You commented on that, Steve. That's one of those little green lines you have to fill in the line running around. That one thing was chasing you all the time.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like an Amadar type thing or something.
Yeah,
Do the outside of the border. Yeah, okay.
So I'll just play a brief clip of Manic Miner.
Starring Miner
This
Willie.
version, you have to wait for the music to finish before you can start.
Just fast forward some gameplay here.
Jump mechanics here because it's a lot
Very
easier.
AGD looking.
When you're on that toilet on the second row, jumping over.
This was cross-platform too, of course.
It's a lot easier. Than it
He's
is
a
on
friend
some
of the Timberman.
levels, some of the versions to hit the toilet going along the top if you don't time your jump right.
Anyway, he's got 6 hours of gaming goodness already, and he's doing more today, so he's probably up to like 8 or 9 now, and then he'll switch off to some other systems for a while. But
Does he take Rondovo potty breaks at all during his 6 to 9 hour stream?
I think he has the hose system with the bottle, or no, I'm not sure. And I'll play a little bit of the Hunchback game because that's one a lot of people have not seen.
Sanctuary.
Way back in the early 80s, very old computer, based on the Tandy CoCo computers from the United States.
I like the
kind of
font.
thing.
Fast forward some gameplay.
Ah, okay. Kind of platformery. This is kind of a pitfall-ish jungle hunt looking.
Yeah, Cuthbert and the Golden Chalice yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what Cuthbert and the Golden Chalice was. Is a what the name of the actual game that is proper?
Yeah, it's a pretty difficult game. It's very precise on its timing. So, I just thought I'd highlight a couple of the games that don't get seen too often.
Nah.
So, but if you want to see long-term like long-form gameplay of it, then definitely go watch. And he like the rest of us gets frustrated with certain games. He'll try and I'm just not in the mood for this right now, and ditches it. But then he plays another game for an hour and a half straight. So
very cool. SG12.
Okay. Next up, Paul Shoemaker has a video update on his 3D dungeon crawler he's doing with some of the higher, medium semi-graphics modes, but not the standard, 64 by 32 we're used to from BASIC. And it's kind of a dungeon crawl one, but he's got it running pretty quickly in 3D, and he's got some, the monster design stuff too, and it actually looks really good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fast.
Yeah.
Look at that. And you can see the bars on the door. Oh, look at that. Holy crap. You know what's funny?
That's really cool.
I have a mouse pad that has some of those graphics. I don't know if you can switch over to mine real quick, but I'm kind of small right now. But this must have been the game that he made. I got this at Tandy Assembly. Let me zoom in on this. But I was
that's his
noticing-
Caves of the Unwashed Heathen game he did a while ago in regular semi-graphics. So now he's using the higher modes with more detail.
Caves of the Unwashed Heathen. But yeah, these graphics are really good. And so looking at that thing you just showed really reminded me of this. But I got this mouse pad, I think, at the first Tandy Assembly, and I didn't even know what the game was. And I said, oh, that's really cool looking. So I got it, and that's kind of what it's looking like he's doing now.
Yeah,
so.
This is just a higher res version of that basically at this point. But
sorry to interrupt.
Memo
but
routines to speed it up. Obviously,
I just had an epiphany there, so I thought I'd share.
I made a comment on Paul's page when he posted that video that it's because he's using semi-graphics. It's high enough graphics that you could do the 3D stuff, but it's low enough memory usage so that it could be lightning fast the way it is. So it's like the happy medium for doing that sort of.
Yeah, and also you get all 9 colors too.
Yeah,
so
and he's doing like solid filled in walls and things like that.
Yeah, everybody needs to pay royalties to Nick Marentes for using semi-graphics at this point since he's got the patent on that.
Well, the funny thing is that Caves of the Unwashed Heathen, Paul wrote that like over a decade ago, so he preceded Nick, so Nick's been stealing from him actually. I'm not sure. But.
Nick is now the king of the SG though. So now that is so cool looking. Oh, look at that! That is so cool, man. You got the dragon. Oh man,
yeah,
it's really
looks good
done.
though. Looking forward to that one.
Very promising.
Yeah, it looks excellent.
Steve, your 12-year-old's coming out.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve, you're live.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Erico is wanting to convert an Atari 8-bit game called Rasky Blaster, which I think is using the text mode characters on the Atari ASCII character set, which has extended stuff kind of like the IBM one does. So he's got a little comparison here where he's kind of just filling the graphics. The one on the right is kind of showing what the Atari version looks like.
So
you've got your little ship here, and the bottom squares here on the bottom scroll from right to left, and then you're shooting the other things and dodging bullets and that kind of thing. But it's all text character based.
Okay.
So he's actually converting it over to a CoCo semi-graphics color type system.
Okay.
With some backgrounds and things too. So he's just started doing some concept artwork for it, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. See how he does. And he was mentioning like enemy spores could pop out of this checkered region. Plus, he'll have a scrolling background or backdrop on the bottom there, like a city or whatever too. So definitely very doable, even in basic.
Yeah, no, it looks cool. Yeah, as soon as I saw some of Paul Shoemaker's artwork, it made me think of Erico because he does a lot of.
Yeah, he's a semi-graphics whiz too.
Yeah.
Next one, Tricob 1974 on YouTube, which is Richard Kelly, who's very active in our Facebook group. He's the one who did that Ladderman 2 that we showed off a few months ago. So he's got a couple of new videos up here that he's put. The first one is called Binary Adventure, which is an adventure game on the CoCo that he wrote. And your mission sounds pretty simple: is to destroy a cabin. The catch, you're trapped inside the cabin. So you have to figure out how to do that. So it's a text adventure game. And an original one, too. It's not
what do you want to do? I like that prompt. Sip coffee. Yuck, decaffeinated. You can't be bothered to finish this.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah.
He never asked for a second cup in my games.
You are in a cellar. There is a ladder here and hundreds of bottles of vodka. Wow. No, you may not. Looking around.
Do you mean accelerant?
If you're into text adventure games, it's not like a rehash or a port of something. It's a brand new original one. So, with a sense of humor, as you've noticed.
I thought that said EOU for a minute. Read EOU.
Right.
Ease
I
of
like
use.
that. Didn't even have to ask if you could drink the vodka. No, you can't.
All right. You're in a large attic with half the floor.
And a viper following you around. Anyway, I'm not going to let Nick play the whole thing here, but
that's definitely neat.
Now, the other one here, I don't know too much about this. We may have to get him on the show for this if we can. apparently he's starting a digital magazine for the CoCo called PGDM, which is short for Painfully Generic Disc Magazine, which I thought was a pretty cool name. That he's just starting now. I'll run the video here in just a second here, but he's kind of mentioning it's going to be out on December 7th, which is Monday, I believe. Yes, Monday. So he's basically writing all these software and stuff that's going to be a part of this magazine and then distributing it, from what I'm gathering here. So he's showing off 2 of the programs here. He's got one's a little utility called Easy Directory, and he's actually got it set up so you type the DOS command and it'll fire it up from there. And then he's got it's an animated cover page, which actually looks pretty decent for an animated cover page. So since it's just under 2 minutes here, I'll just play the whole thing.
Reading disk sector 4, 6, 8. Note the arrow keys will automatically repeat. Okay, so this is actually showing you what's on the directory. Huh? So is this kind of like a launcher too? Enter selects?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. And then this is the cover program.
Now it says December 7th, 2018, so I'm not sure if he started this back then,
okay,
or if December 7th, or you just screwed up the date and it's supposed to be December 7th, 2020.
This is when it was released. Who knows? Retro Rick. That's cool.
That was a pretty nice little animation. I
Yeah,
thought.
the fonts are cool.
I wasn't expecting it to do anything fancy. I thought it was just going to just do the dots around the edge. But anyway, I'm looking forward to see what exactly he's got. This magazine, from my understanding, he's going to have some, older games and stuff will be included as part of it. And maybe he'll do a write-up on it. I'm not sure. Maybe we can actually work with him to maybe, tie it with a GameON challenge once in a while so that, he releases the game on that disc and you can get that and play it from there too if you want to.
Very cool.
But I wouldn't mind having him on just to find out what
I have
what
reached out to him
planning.
a few times. I think he has a schedule conflict with Saturdays, but it's probably worth.
Yeah, maybe do a pre-record on a different day or something if we can.
But yeah, he does a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, his Ladderman game was actually, for a basic game, I was quite impressed. That was a decent game and lots of levels to go through. Next up, we have Jeff Plays Donkey Kong Variants. This is Retro Arcade Gaming, which I think I featured like a year or two ago. What he's done this time is a bit different. Normally what he does is comparison videos between, pick a arcade port or a game of some sort and then compare it between different platforms. Like here it is on the Atari, here's on the CoCo, here it is on a PC, et cetera, et cetera. What he's done here is he's taken a theme of doing Donkey Kong variants, and some of these are arcade based. Some of the ROM hacks that you can get to, spice up the Donkey Kong game using this original arcade hardware. But in this case here, he's doing Donkey Kong 2, which was written by, what's this guy's name? Jeff Kulzicki. And then he also does the Donkey Kong Remix and Donkey Kong Spooky Remix. Now, I think we've covered Spooky Remix before because it's the remix levels that John Kowalski's, aka Sockmaster, did, but with the graphics changed to be Halloween themed. He's also done a Christmas version of this as well.
Right.
But the other one he did was a Donkey Kong Remix, and he actually does the CoCo version, not the arcade ROM hack.
Okay.
So he kind of goes into a little bit of the history of the.
Cool. I've never seen Donkey Kong 2.
Yeah, that's actually
it's
by somebody
unofficial,
else.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the ROM hack boards. A lot of people sell these, ROM update boards for the arcade cabinets. So, did you want me to play a little bit of that, or did you want me to...
Sure, if you want to play a clip of that. Yeah, I found that interesting when I was watching that thing on Netflix, the series that Miss Pac-Man was a third-party ROM hack.
Yeah, that was a hack to Pac-Man.
Yeah, that they bought.
It was originally developed for the TRS-80 Color Computer 3 by John Kowalski. John was actually
Fast forward to where you see
on
some gameplay. Okay. Yeah. That's our remix. It is such a fun game to play too.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's for the advanced Donkey Kong players. Here's the elevator level where you actually have hammers on the right there.
Oh yeah.
What amazed me was just how well the port for the color computer was done.
And the Wacky Girders one.
Weird, wild, wacky girders.
This one you have to be careful too, because once you pop the 2 rivets on the girder, it actually falls to the bottom, so you can actually cut yourself off from getting to certain spots.
Originally the hammer was a sausage, but they had to take it out because it was too on the nose.
Ding, 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 ding. Yep. Cool game.
Yep.
Great job from the sock master.
As always. And this was a kind of surprise. I just found this morning. I didn't know Downland was actually officially released for the Dragon. That's the CoCo cartridge that John just picked up and showed us earlier.
And
so that's the artwork on the Dragon version of it.
Wow.
Or was
That's
it?
Cuthbert.
Downland, huh? Okay.
And man, does he have a tough time playing this game. So
It's not an easy game.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I mean, he hadn't read the directions or anything, so he plays really poorly at the beginning. And he gets quite frustrated. He doesn't notice that you have to move the joystick, select 1 or 2 players. So he keeps accidentally select 2 players, and he had to run in the back. You can hear him rummaging around for second joystick. It's quite funny. I'll just play a little bit of it though.
I would imagine it's not not artifacted either, right?
Downland.
No.
For the Dragon 32. A game requested by, you guessed it, Jason Arnott, who does love his dragon stuff. So yeah, he requested Downland. So here we are. About 30 seconds still to go. So let's have a read of the bump on this. Run through the many chambers, collecting keys and treasures by climbing ropes and. Okay, let's zoom in.
I still like his lava lamp set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right. So
I don't know what this buzzing he's getting is. Though.
That's got to be DAC noise.
Analog joystick
coming through
for
the
what sounds like
RF.
It's going to be a platform game of some kind.
And you notice he's got 2 players selected right now. He does not notice this.
I'm guessing Montezuma's Revenge.
Well, fast forward to where we can
press
see him
fire and
playing
see
it.
if anything happens. It does. Oh, okay. Oh, I appear to be made of static.
Oh, you can kind of see the shimmering on the artifacts because Pal does it on the vertical, right? So
yeah.
Okay. Oh, don't say I've got to plug a joystick into port 2 as
if
well.
only he had a Joey controller switch.
Joystick.
Product placement.
Yeah.
Shameless, huh?
Yeah, and it doesn't look bad black and white, this game.
No, it's quite playable.
Seems a little slower,
looks
maybe because it's
that
at
guy
50
looks
hertz.
like the Hawaiian Punch guy.
Damn it.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah.
But it's fun listening to him getting so frustrated as he's
Right.
playing this game. And he's playing on a free-floating joystick too. I will mention that he's not playing on a self-center, so he's jumps onto a rope and then promptly falls off the other side because he hasn't
it's kind
centered
of
it.
trippy looking at these oscillating artifacts there in the vertical, you know.
I think it was the right choice though, because putting this with that full green background would have looked horrible.
Yeah. Nah, neat.
Anyway, he's got the full 20-minute thing there.
So
he makes it to chamber 2 occasionally.
I did not know that this was on the Dragon, but
I didn't either.
Yeah,
as an official,
because it was Spectral Associates that licensed it to Tandy, right?
Yeah, and then they licensed it to Microdeal as well.
Yeah.
So.
No. Right, so that's an awkward set of steps to jump up. Just what we needed.
I wonder if they only paid for 6 copies before they sent it off to Microdeal.
Mike is one of the guys, the author of this was one of the guys that complained about Spectral paying. So
yeah,
I doubt it.
Cool. All right, what's next?
That's it.
That's it for the GameON news.
Yep.
All
short one today.
right. So we'll take a brief commercial break and we'll be back with news. So we did run the Joey Hi-Res. We will. You know what the world needs right now? This has just been a very musical day. It really has, and that music is not going to end because there's more music coming up. So enjoy the catchy hit tune that has been sweeping the nation for quite some time, Nightmare Highway, and we'll be back after these words, boys and girls.
Oh, yeah.
Got some time to kill, might play a little Zaxxon.
Might double back to play a little Temple of Rom.
Love Rom.
Dungeons of Daggeroth, color baseball. But none can hold a candle to the greatest of them all. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Sure, I love my Sailor Man and Firefall. Go on a rampage for some super pitfall. Shanghai me into a game of rogue or demon attack. But sooner or later, you know I've got to come back to Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. It's got a road, and it's got a car. Dodge the furniture, and you'll be a pop star.
Okay.
Well, okay, maybe I just stick to the facts. To tell this truth, this game really ain't all that. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway.
I used to bow down to the Donkey King. Grabber and Cashman used to be my thing. Megabug, Buzzard Bait, Sea Dragon 2. But none of those can satisfy me much as you do. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Yeah.
Nightmare
Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Fuck off. Oh, a buck off.
From around the world, what you need to know. Get caught up on News with L. Curtis Boyle.
And now a Muppet News Flash.
All right.
Okay, you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like
Hey,
Boise.
so with the sorry, good.
So it looks like Boise.
Yes, it is. Now, last week we did that hardware project that Boise was working on, and there was a ton of discussion about it on Discord, and then ideas flying back and forth, and Boise doing updates. Several people testing it. I think some people on the panel here. I think Robert Murphy, you were helping test it. Mark Oberholzer, I think you were helping test it. So just to do, before I get into this one, I wouldn't mind doing a quick recap of what you guys all discussed, because it was flying by so fast I couldn't really keep track of what was going on. So what did you guys exactly discuss, and what exactly happened with that project? I don't know how to pronounce it, Ghidorah or whatever it was.
So the basic idea is Boise's Ghidra project is a serial-based token ring local area network for CoCos. So you can plug multiple CoCos together. And in some pieces it builds on the DriveWire protocol, but it is separate. He just uses DriveWire to do copies. But the core of it is that you can remotely control multiple CoCos and have multiple CoCos communicate together on the same wire. And over the course of the week, some of the discussion on the Discord channel involved building a hardware hub that you can use DriveWire cables to connect your CoCos to this hub. And the Ghidra ring is inside the hub itself. And El Presidente, Mr. Jim Brain, mocked up the hub design and sketched that out, a couple of different versions of it kind of on the fly. And he and Boise were talking about various directions going forward and improvements on it. So yeah, I made the channel just as a, hey, this sounded interesting and maybe we'll talk about it. And it just kind of blew up.
Yeah, like last time I checked, I think there's over 200 messages in there in 1 week. So for a brand new project, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, 5 CoCos would, and you say it blew up. That'd be quite the smoke storm.
Anyway, the reason one of the reasons I want to bring that up is that Boise actually had another episode he put out just before that, which is this one here, episode 5, called Recycled, which I totally missed because of everything that was going on with the token ring thing. So this is kind of a catch up here. So this is the previous episode, and this is a more normal episode where he goes through his CoCo collection. And in this case, it's a recycled CoCo in that Tandy recycled it and then actually, put on stickers to change part numbers and all kinds of things. So it's a pretty interesting CoCo that I hadn't really seen before. So I'll just play a couple clips from it here.
And the 64K sticker here, I'll try to peel it back. But if I had to guess, it's going to say something along the lines of 16K. It looks like maybe there's some damage from the residue of the sticker coming on the box. So it's not working out quite right, but I think it says 16K. And you'll notice that the serial number here is actually handwritten. It's not a printed serial number. I'll get into the whys and what's about those stickers in a bit, but for now, I want to open up the box and take a look at the computer. This is the first time I've actually looked at this particular CoCo, and it looks like it's
is it loud enough for you guys?
New, certainly not new in the box,
yes,
but
yeah,
well taken
sounds
care
good.
of.
You can go a hair louder.
The styrofoam pieces are on either side. They look intact, and it looks like the CoCo 2 itself is wrapped in cellophane. So I'll take the pieces off, and put these off aside. Looks in pretty good condition. Pretty clean, no yellowing that I can see. I'll take the cellophane off. There's a little bit of yellowing on the shift and the arrow keys and the enter key. The kind of this unique label, 326501 is the serial number, and it's a 64K CoCo 2, but it looks a little different than the labels you usually see under the CoCos, and the warranty stickers also not pierced, which means it probably hasn't been opened since manufacture. So that's interesting. Put this CoCo back on the bench, and notice the label here says Radio Shack TRS-80 Color Computer 2. It's the older style label, and not the newer Tandy label that you would expect to see on a later model CoCo 2.
Hey Curtis, could you pause for 1 second?
I'm going to explain why.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt in the video, but I remember watching this one, and about 10 seconds back, on the bottom of the CoCo where the power cord goes in, there's that recessed area right there that's by his left hand.
Mm-hmm.
When he's flipping that over, I swear there's something in there, like a connector, a screw, because normally it doesn't have that in there. And you have to kind of, I tried to pause to see if I could see something. Yeah, right about there.
It looks a little different than the labels you usually see under the CoCos and the warranty sticker.
There.
I think that's just plastic guide stuff.
Yeah, plastic it looks like it almost looks metallic. It looks gold, I guess, when it's playing. Maybe it's just the light. So my bad.
It looks like a screw post.
Labels you usually see.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The warranty stickers also not pierced, which means it probably hasn't been opened since.
Okay.
Recall that on the box we
that looks
saw
a bit clearer on yours.
Label that was on top of the original model number was 26-3127B. It was on top of a 26-3136A. And the 64K label was on top of the original 16K. The reason for this, that I think, is when the CoCo 3 was released, Tandy had probably a lot of CoCo 2s in the warehouse that were 16K. They consolidated the models at that point to all 64K, and so what I think they did is they upgraded these CoCo 2s in the warehouse from 16K to 64K so that they could consolidate and sell those in the catalog for 1987. And then the result of that is that you're going to see these hybrid CoCos with serial numbers handwritten on the box and these labels kind of glued on after the fact, and the mismatch on the case labels. And that extends to this unique label at the bottom of the CoCo 2, which is, you can tell, is put on after the fact with a different style from earlier CoCo 2s. Alright, now that I've got the screws out, I'm going to take the top off here, and we're going to take a look on the inside of the motherboard to see just how clean it is. I'll take off the keyboard to reveal the very clean and quite green motherboard here. It definitely pays to keep CoCos inside of a box and wrapped up in cellophane. Zoom in slightly here. There is the SAM chip. There's the ROM, and as you can see, the factory jumpers are in place. So this was done in the factory. The CPU, here it is. This is kind of a unique upgrade. I managed to take the satellite board off, and here it is. There are the 8 41.
So I haven't seen too many of those particular upgrades, though I knew those are on there.
Capacitors on each.
You know it's Tandy though, because the chips are upside down, so they could wave solder the whole
very
thing.
efficiently. Plugs into these two connectors on the motherboard here, and this is a motherboard that has a 20261044 stamp on it. So this is one of the very later revision motherboards for the CoCo 2. I'll put this back here in place. It's a little bit tricky. You have to make sure that the pins line up properly, and you have to get it back in the.
Because that's one of the motherboards that have the 2 ways to upgrade your RAM. You could do the little 8-chip satellite board like you're showing here, and then those other 2 empty sockets are for the 4464s to do the 64K upgrade that way.
You could swipe out of your CoCo 3 when you did a memory upgrade.
Yeah, actually, it's the same chips used in the CoCo 3 128K. So yeah, if you pull those out and upgrade to 512 or 2 meg, you've got 2 CoCo 2B upgrade sets of 64K.
Trickle down computers.
Yeah. Now, I won't show you. He does a test on the machine like he generally does standard in these videos. He fires up his little test program that checks the joysticks and the hardware and the graphics screen and stuff like that. So I won't bother playing all that stuff. But it's pretty interesting that Tandy, and I was hoping maybe Richard Lobieski could be on today because he actually worked at Tandy during pretty close to this time frame to verify whether or not that is what happened. That they just, when they decided to start selling the CoCo 3, they said, all the CoCo 2s are going to be 64K now as we sell them out until we're done. So they took any 16K still kicking around in the factory in the storage and just upgraded them all and then put stickers on, changing the part numbers or the serial numbers, the order or the what's the word I'm looking for?
Model numbers.
Yes, that's it. Model numbers. Brain fart.
Yeah.
And just quickly slapped all these stickers on just to upgrade them all and then sell them off as a 64K original machines. So I'd not seen one of those before. I've not seen that sticker before. I don't know if anybody else in the panel here who's more sophisticated with the hardware side of things than I has seen those before.
Well, those white stickers on for the screw label is typically what we used in the service organization for after factory servicing.
Okay. Anyway, it's a pretty interesting episode, which I completely missed when it got first released because of all the stuff that was happening with his token ring project. So now we're caught up. Next up, we have Alan Huffman here, put an interesting blog post about a little quirk in the data statement. Now, some comments that have come later said that this is a quirk in Microsoft Basic in general, and it has happened on some other platforms here. But if you look at this little program here, he's got a couple of data statements, and he's got data quote, colon, quote, which means the data itself is the colon, and then a colon to separate for the next command, and then that's data and the word hello. Now, if you're doing strings, you do not have to put quotes around strings as long as you don't need spaces or special characters in it like commas. You can just put the raw text. And then he has an empty one. But when he goes and reads them, you'll notice that it took the token for the word data and actually printed that out. So you can use as a way to sneak in, semi-graphics as 1 byte tokens if you use keywords, if it's the right keyword for that particular graphic command. So it's not acting the way you would think it would. So he kind of goes through, and there's some discussion and stuff on it later on, going through the quirk. But I mean, Alan's been doing a lot of this series of little quirks and strangeties of Microsoft Basic. So it's another interesting one he found there that I had not seen or heard of before.
So you open a quote and the whole rest of the line is data.
Basically, the data statement was written such that anything after the data statement is considered data. So no matter what you do, it's, in other words, they expect you to write the word data.
Yeah, I ran into that problem. Like I tried to have a bunch of data and then put a colon and then to try to read in that data for next loop, and it didn't work. So I had to separate data lines from reading lines. Found out the hard way. Yeah.
Only data can go on a line that has data.
So it's basically ignoring the colon altogether and just considering the colon part of the data.
It's treating it as data.
And anything after the word data is automatically assumed data. It stops interpreting other stuff.
No, I think that's only if it's strings, though, right? Like if you have, data 3, 4, 5, and you're reading them as numbers, I think those do.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, the string is supposed to be the second word data. It's just returning the token value for the word data instead of putting the string data out. I imagine the same thing would work if you put other
keywords.
Keywords, yeah.
Yeah, but the colon is not saying, okay, here's a new statement.
Yeah.
Data, a colon essentially separates statements.
Yeah,
Right.
and the
Yeah.
first colon is being interpreted as data. The second colon is interpreted kind of, because there's otherwise we have two colons showing up in that print, and it's not.
Yeah. So what we see is
Yeah, it's pretty odd.
we see the first colon, which is in text, and then data as a word is has been tokenized into that little semigraphics character. Then we see hello, which is not printed into text.
Yep.
Because
And
the
including
second-
space.
Yeah.
The second
So is it-
colon is saying token is next.
So if you save this program in ASCII, is that fixed or does it stay broken?
No, it stays broken. If you separate it on 2 lines, though, it works perfectly fine.
I think you
So
can
is
use
it-
character string though.
So is it ignoring the second colon or something then, is it? Or just
Yeah, it's parsing it, but it's just considering it nothing, and then it's
Yeah.
interpreting the data token
There's
as
more data.
As data.
yeah, as more data, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd be interesting to see if this does the same thing though. If you're using numerics, like if you do data 3, 4, 5 colon data 5, 6, 7 or something, would it still break, or is it unique to string?
Yeah, I bet it would.
If you want to embed something like an apostrophe or a colon or something like that, that's normally a control character, then you put it into a CHR string.
Right.
Or you just use numbers and use character string to convert them into graphics characters or text.
There's a couple different ways to get around it, but it was an interesting quirk.
Yeah.
Just separate onto different lines.
Yeah, which I think, John, you would mention on your comments on the original Facebook post that you do that all the time, so you've never encountered this bug before.
Yeah, I've always separated. Well, I'm generally doing graphics with like zeros and ones. So I'm kind of creating a graphic. So I have the word data on the left, and then, like 8 or 12 ones and zeros separated by commas. So if you're making like a smiley face, you'll actually see the smiley face in zeros and ones.
You'll see that in the source code. Yeah, you're plotting out the bits.
So I've just always put data, only data on a data line. I don't know why I did it. I just always did it that way.
Fun fact, we used to trick a similar bug in the Sinclair, so you could use, with very small RAM, so you could use the token for print to get the letters print for 1 byte cost, or GOTO for 1 and a space for 1 byte cost, just to get that little bit of extra RAM. So it's interesting to see this actually work somewhere else. And there's your token.
Yep. Well, I do notice like some games embedded, semi-graphics into data, or quote a string equals quote, and then you'd see like next for step and all the different tokens, and then when it actually ran, it would convert them all into the semi-graphics characters. And they all took 1 byte, and they also made the line too long. You couldn't actually edit or see some of it, so you couldn't see it all. That's the way the basic interpreter works. So yeah, there's a lot of little cool tricks there. Next up, this is a cool one. Carlos Camacho found an eBay listing here for a CoCo 2 64K. It doesn't look too sophisticated otherwise, but the guy did a hardware mod, and it also includes software. And the guy on the eBay listing actually has a source code required to do this. But it kicks the cassette system from 1,500 baud up to 6,000 baud, so 4 times faster than normal. I have heard of some, I used to, there was a couple of pokes you could do to get the double speed to work at roughly 3,000, slightly less, about 2,700 baud, but nothing like this. So here's the hardware mod part of it, which kind of looks like John Laurey's machine there with a ton of wires hanging around.
Yeah, right.
A little satellite board glued under the side of the RF modulator.
Yeah.
It looks like double-sided tape that's just been folded over.
And here he's actually got the source code that you type in with that hardware mod to get 6,000 baud. Now, our cassette system's already faster than a Commodore 64's disk drive system, so this must just be lightning fast.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this mod before.
One of the first CoCos I bought on eBay, seemed like an eternity ago. It came with some type of what it called high-speed tape system too, and it was something on a 3.5-inch software, 3.5-inch floppy that came with it, and I think something on an actual cassette. But I think it was its own version of DriveWire, where you ran a program on a PC, you plugged your CoCo into a serial port, you ran this program, and then boom, you could load software rapidly over the cassette port. So they called it like some type of high speed tape system or something is what it was referred to, and I never understood. I was just getting into CoCos, and it had came with the first CoCo I bought. So I think I probably still have the tape and the 3.5-inch floppy, which would have to run on a PC, but I didn't fully comprehend what it was meant for at the time.
So that'd be quadrupling the frequency going to the cassette too, I'm guessing.
Yep.
So you'd be your cassette. It would be more. It'd be more. What's the word? Critical.
Demanding.
Well, in serial port
yes.
terms, I'm sure they kept the baud rate the same and increased the number of tones to raise the bits per second up, which is what they did in modems. So if you use 4 tones, you only need 1/4 the number of tone changes.
Trellis encoding.
And that would do this with a regular cassette, but it's very clever.
Oh, a cooling fan has been installed too, because the speed is so high at this point now. It's generating heat. So that data's burning up the damn CoCo. So yeah.
Maybe if you couldn't
melting the tape.
Yeah, if you couldn't afford the disk drives, I mean, when the disk drives first came out from Tandy, they were like $500 or something, I think, in the States, and like $800 here in Canada. So I mean, this would have been a much cheaper. And, not quite up to disk drive speeds, but that's over 600 bytes per second sustained throughput. So you could load in like a semi-graphics screen in less than a second. And a P Mode 4 screen would take, 9 seconds?
Not bad.
Roughly 9 or 10 seconds roughly to load. 10 gets closer to. But yeah, that would have been pretty sophisticated for the time. Unfortunately, it never really took off as far as I know.
Neat.
Yeah, on that listing there, I don't know if he shows... Oh yeah, Carlos isn't showing it there. Let's see here. No, the guy's not showing it here in this picture here. You know that color TV that you see in some of the ads there?
Yeah.
It was the CT130. There it is, right? Oh no, that's his monitor. His listing that he had. This guy had another listing out there too that had one of those color with the wood grain on the outside. It was the CT130 that you see in some of the Tandy Radio Shack ads.
Yeah.
Yep. I messaged him and I said, "Do you still have that?" And he goes, "I just sold it." And I'm like, oh,
failed again.
Little side note.
No, I don't quite understand the screws here. Was that to hold that board in place, or what the heck?
That's the fan, isn't it? Is it the fan?
Oh,
maybe.
yeah,
It could be
that
the
fan.
Yeah.
A little bit of RF. Anyways, a pretty interesting mod, and I mean, I can imagine back in the day. I mean, we had a pretty decent speed cassette interface compared to most 8-bits, but quadrupling that speed would have been quite noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Next up, Antonio, who's of course been doing his SD card labels. He's done a bunch, and I've only got a couple I linked in here just to show, but he's put other ones up this week too. So just feel free to peruse the CoCo group to see them all of his little SD card label. So he did one here for RoboCop, which looks pretty cool. Then you got old style with Tandy Pinball here.
Neat.
And he did a few others too. So I mean, just like I said, he's constantly doing these, and you can just kind of keep up with them. These are, I think, a good idea. Like personally, I would not make SD cards dedicated to one small game because your cards hold like a gig or 16 gig or whatever. You're putting like a 4K program on them. But for distribution, and Paul Thayer, if you're still on the call, you did this with Timberman because you were selling it as a physical SD card with a new game. You actually put a Timberman custom sticker on it that it becomes part of the packaging.
You didn't show David Ladd's. You didn't show David Ladd's favorite.
Which is what? Predator?
I think he did Predator too, didn't he?
Really? Oh, he could have. I
think he did Predator as well.
Well, I think when he first started this project, which I think is sd-pack.com or maybe sdpack.com, either way, he's got a website which has got all the templates to do this and everything. He had found for like 99 cents a maybe it was like a 1 gig or something, or even smaller. Maybe it was like I forgot what it was, but like. What are we getting now? We're getting like what gigabytes in our flash cards, right? So this might have been it was a small one though, but
Is that the smallest flash card you can get now?
Yeah, maybe it was like whatever it was, but it was super small and they were like 99 cents. So for like $1 to have an SD card and have that card boot up like a ROM pack, which was the whole idea of this. It's taking advantage of the auto start file you can have. So you can make a SD card auto launch
a disk image, and then you can have that disk image have an autoexec.bas file that will auto launch something on the disk, right? So with just, it's a simple two-step process, but you can make any SD card auto boot a program, and then boom, it's done. So it makes it kind of like a ROM pack, which was the whole idea here, SD pack. So if you can get really cheap cards that have not a lot of space on them, because you only need like what, 156K, right? So let's just say theoretically you could get a 1 megabyte SD card. That would be more than enough to hold a single disk image or hard drive image and have an auto boot. So it's a cool project. I agree you're wasting a lot of space if you don't have a single purpose one, but if you can get them, matter of fact, I might have one here somewhere.
Yeah, I have a Timberman one in the other room.
Yeah.
Like for distributing new software, I think it's a great idea because it's cheaper than making a cassette or a disc.
Yeah. Like I've got some of his that he had done.
Oh, here, I'll stop sharing so everybody can see it just a second here.
I had he had sent me these a long time ago. If I spotlight myself, so he had actually made a 3D printed case that says Tandy on it, and you open this up, and then it's got a whole bunch of SD cards, and then on each SD card, it's got the label, and so this is a Downland SD card. So if I wanted to play Downland like a ROM pack, I would pop this in, it would auto boot, and it would run it. So he's got a bunch of those. And so it's kind of a neat little thing. Like when I go to my retro club meetings and stuff, I bring these things to show off because it's something you don't see every day. And I don't know that all 8-bit systems have it. But here's Slay the Neres, so he did a bunch of these different ones, and he made this little 3D printed case where you can open and close it and put in all your little things. So this is kind of like, remember the program pack cases where you can get those, your filers? So he made a little filer for this. So it's a really cool project. It's extremely overkill on space distribution. But if you can get the SD cards cheap enough, it's cool. It's just something different, right?
And for new software distribution, I mean, rather if you want to sell a physical copy versus just a digital download, I mean, your other options are to sell a CD or to sell a cassette or a disc, and that's going to take a lot more postage wise because they're much bigger packages. That you can just throw into a letter and send it off. So I think as far as distributing, new software, I think Paul had the right idea with the Timberman thing, because that was a perfect platform to do that. Then you can throw other stuff on the card too. Like most cards have at least 256 meg or a gig or whatever.
Yes,
you can throw a full color PDF of the manual,
PDF,
videos of gameplay, and maybe an interview with the author, whatever you want. So,
yeah,
pretty cool.
Here we go. Yeah, you can get 256 megabyte SD cards.
Okay.
How much of those cost? Just out of curiosity.
$16.89 for a 2-pack. It's like $8 a piece. You can get larger size ones for less. Yeah.
I've got a suggestion.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. If they now have the color, the displays for the ink paper. It gets something the same size of one of those regular SD cards. Have little microprocessor there at the images of a whole bunch of them, and just reads through all the different programs, and boom, put the micro SD card in it, and it reads it, and boom, select which one you want, and it says, "Hey, I got all of these on this one card."
Yeah, that could work.
It was just something that was just off the top of my brain that it says.
Yeah. So your micro SD card adapter is a OLED display or something that shows you
not OLED, but the ink paper, they got the black and white, but they also have the color. Also, they put it like on wristbands and all of that. Just have the little microprocessor in there, just go in and read what the file's on there or something like that. Just something. And for each file, boom, 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 it puts the display of what you've got on the SD card.
Yeah, okay. Cool idea. Having one with an actual, thing. The only problem is that when you plug those into the SD, they're kind of getting hidden, so you can't see them all that easily. But
use an extender or something with a battery pack.
Maybe Jim Brain can make a CoCo SDC SD card extender for his CoCo audio extender. That's just add that to the wish list.
He'll ship it at the same time. Next up here, we got Chet. Now, is Paul still on the call? Because I think Paul's actually talked to him about this a little bit, so he probably knows more details. I haven't. But he's, since the completion of Digger 3, he's actually working on his Chaos cross-platform development tools, and he's did some updates on here. And I think he's actually been doing some demos and stuff on Discord, which I haven't been able to catch, unfortunately. But it's basically a cross-platform development service, not just for the CoCo. So he's currently targeting like the CoCo 1, 2, and 3, the Fujitsu FM7 and FM77, which are other 6809 designs, PCEJ, the Atari ST, the Amiga. And basically you would set up and do your graphics and do your sound and stuff once, and it would basically translate it to these other platforms. Currently it's set up for bitmap displays, which all of those machines support. But there's no reason you couldn't make it work later, as he mentions on the top there, making it work with tile set displays, like a Nintendo NES or something like that. But it would make a way to make cross-platform games that you only have to do your graphics and your sound once, and then just get everything translated rather than have to redo everything every time you're doing it on something else. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to be doing with this. But I don't know, has anybody else in the panel been involved in some of those discussions on Discord this last week?
Not I.
No, but it's similar concepts to like what Xcode does.
Yeah, except for retro machines instead. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's a cool idea.
Yep.
I did find
what?
Oh, I did find a 256 megabyte 8-pack, or no, a 10-pack for $16.99, so $1.69 a piece. So if you look around, you can find some low capacity, SD cards at really low cost, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, now is it the fact that it's scaled up so much? Is it cheaper to get like a 10-pack of 1 gig ones now than it is to get 256?
Yeah, whatever the size. As long as the target would be, if you can get them for like $1 a piece, that would be like, that makes them almost.
As long as you get them, bulk cheap, then you could distribute software.
Yeah.
Right. The little ones are needed by old cameras and stuff, so they're going back up. You might have to shoot to 2 gigs or something for really cheap.
Hey, another source for little SD cards is in scrapyards. The older Ricoh copiers all had like 1 or 2 like 100 meg, 20 meg, 30 meg, SD cards in them. You just had to take a screwdriver and take a plate off and swipe them. But if you get an opportunity of snagging some from machines being scrapped, that's another source of little cards.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking on Amazon and I'm not seeing a whole 256 meg is as low as it seems to go.
How low can you go? What are we looking at here, Curtis?
Next up is Chris Burke, of course, has been doing his, was he using a Pi of some sort, I think, to hook up USB keyboards, USB mice to the CoCo, including wireless models. So he's been doing some prototyping on it. We've shown the videos the last couple of weeks. Then he placed an order for some of these little card adapter or little cards for adapting the keyboard plug on the CoCo to get it come out and then plug it into something else that you can build projects off of, and flex cable adapters. So he's actually got his first ones in, which he's showing here on the top part. And then he's later on got a picture here of his first, board where he's actually put, the chips and stuff on it too. And then he has a little demo here running the wireless mouse using this. So let's see if I can maximize this.
It's maximized, but it's not moving.
Right. Facebook doesn't. Stupid thing. I'll just play it this small, just and let him talk over it, I guess.
To a 2. It's detecting the mouse click just fine. When I move this mouse up very slowly, you'll see the Y value go from.
I don't know if you can see that in a small window, but
I can see the numbers changing. I can't quite read them, but yeah.
So he's just proving that it works using his little prototype boards. Now, one thing he did mention, he's got a mouse with a scroll wheel on it. Now, if you have a CoCo 3, of course, you can support 2 buttons, the left and right click work properly. But he's actually set up the software inside the Pi or whatever it is to actually register the mouse wheel as well. So he's got some extra functionality. That changes the resolution of the mouse. So if you want to have really fast movements and it's jumping rapidly, you can just adjust it with the mouse wheel, which is kind of a cool idea. So if you're playing a game, you want to be able to jump left to right really fast, you'd crank it right up. And if you want to do a sophisticated drawing program and nail every pixel individually, you'd crank it right down, and you just control that with the mouse wheel. So that's kind of a neat idea. So interesting to see where else he's going to go with some innovative ideas like that. Next about that, Jason Downs does a quick video breakdown of a CoCo 2 he just purchased. I won't play the whole thing here, but he kind of goes through and goes through the innards and shows what happened when he ordered it and any interesting bits about it. So I think that's the first video of this type he's done. So I don't know if he's planning on making this into a series of things. But it'll be interesting to see what else he can find. Next up, Ed Snyder is now selling SDC cases separate without the SDC. This is probably partly in response because Boys Tech is now selling SDCs, but as far as I know, he hasn't got his 3D printer fully up and operational to making cases. And a lot of people don't want to plug in the raw board into a multi-packer into the CoCo. So he's now selling the 3D printer cases for $20 each. He's currently, at this moment in time, got 3 in stock, so he's obviously sold a few.
I like that speckle pattern there, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and these are the 3 options he's selling, which is the white, the black, and then the, what is he called? Marble, I think he calls this other one here. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the MCX32 SD uses.
Is that same marble you mean? Or
that marbled one?
Yeah, that's what mine, how mine
looks
came.
Good. I like that look. That looks good.
So for those of you that, because Ed is constantly out of stock of SDCs, and then, Richard has become a second source for SDCs now. If you've ordered one of those, but you want to get a case, you don't have to wait anymore. Richard is planning on eventually selling cases himself too. But this way that you've got an extra source of just the cases themselves, which I think Ed can produce a bit easier and quicker because he basically just sets up his 3D printer and lets it run while he's doing all of his other hand soldering of everything for his 1,001 other projects. So this is a good way for people that get the cases on the Boys Tech ones until Richard actually gets that up fully up running himself. And then, if you want to upgrade to a marble case because you like to look better, you can have that option too. And I thought the price, $20 for it's a decent size 3D.
That's going right, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up in the Dragon group on Facebook, we got one of these old classic Dragon ads, and it's not one I've seen before, which is kind of saying for the parents, not for the kids, after blasting some aliens, try exploding a few myths. And they actually show some of the, the practical things you can do on the Dragon, and kind of mentions them like, they're not just a toy for the kids. And, showing off some of the young learning series, so educational software, et cetera, to try to, appeal to the parents somewhat. So it's kind of cool seeing a Dragon ad aimed at the older set, not the, young teenage
cool.
boys type
I like the art style on that. That's pretty neat.
They even got a Spectral game that was cross-licensed across the pond there. Galax Attacks, their Galaxian clone too. So,
wonder how they get that red background on the graphics mode.
Very carefully.
Red and white. Yeah, I guess it would be more orange and white in real life. I would say, Nick, they probably took the tint control on the TV and just cranked it a bit. That'd be my guess.
Fake ad.
Fake news.
Next up, the CoCo crew released their latest monthly podcast, number 66. This one featured a review of Matchy's Jumpy game, which he actually came and put on itch.io, so you can get that and donate some money towards them as a thing. It's a really good semi-graphic game, actually. There's a technical explanation of the BCD, binary coded decimal, and how that works, which is actually something fairly unique to the 6809 for an 8-bit machine. I don't think too many of the other 8-bit CPUs, if any, supported BCD directly. And they also have an interview with Joe Cinta, who is one of the guys behind the Canton SCSI interface. And that's the one I've mentioned on the show before, that you could actually hook 2 CoCos up because it fully supported the SCSI protocol, not just the slave part. So you could have 2 CoCos hooked up to the exact same hard drive running it at the same time. And they go into a bunch of the hardware history, the whole history of the company, the people that did the software, the people that did the hardware. So it was a pretty good interview and well worth listening to. Next one up here, Ben Manuel put up a video on YouTube demoing a semi-language sort program that sorts characters that are randomly generated into a VDG screen. And the code is taken from the August 1988 Rainbow magazine. Now, I've not seen videos by him before, so hopefully he keeps doing CoCo-related videos, but I thought I'd just show the first pass-through. And it kind of shows you, you're drawing this with basic with random numbers, and then the machine language is much faster doing the sort, and you get to see it sort live.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's like defragging a hard drive.
Yeah, pretty much. Defragging your screen.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Anyway, it's a pretty cool little demo program you can show people, so hopefully he does some more stuff. This is another channel that's new to me. It's called Take It Apart. It's only got 2 subscribers, so it must have just started. But basically, it's just taking random hardware and taking it apart to show you what the innards are, and then he actually puts it back together, presumably so it still works, which is not something I've ever had experience doing. So this one he does the CCR82 computer cassette recorder. And I believe, John, is that you had a CTR, I think, on your batch that you showed today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is why Curtis doesn't do hardware.
He had the 81, which is the larger one, and this is the 82, which is the mini one.
Mm.
Fast forward a bit here, kind of shows you how to. Now, if I remember, these are the ones the buttons wore off and wouldn't stay down after a while.
Yeah, it's kind of small.
Pretty good bass response from that tiny little speaker.
Is this like that ASMR stuff?
Sorry?
Is this like that
Pretty good.
ASMR stuff too? There's the belt drive for everything, yep.
The loose belt there.
And you can just
There's 3
change it.
belts.
You don't have to disassemble the metal plates of all the mechanism to put a belt in the middle of the mesh. You just right on top.
Pretty easy. Yeah.
I think I actually have one of these kicking around. I originally had the old black, whatever the heck that thing was called, the original CoCo one, when the CoCo one came out. But I did end up getting one of these through some bulk sale at some point. But
Oh, the black tape recorder?
yeah, not the
CTR80.
I can't remember the CCR 80 or something, the original one.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Yeah, that was the one they sold for the Model 1 as well.
Yeah.
But this was more like the CoCo 2, CoCo 3 era, or CoCo 2 era, I guess more so. But the color had changed to the white, and it was also much smaller.
Hey, we just got a live like from Richard Kelly on Facebook. And hey, Retro Rick, we just showed off your YouTube video of your latest posting of your Tex Adventure game. So if you're out there and you hear us and you're available, we'd like to get you on. I think I've reached out to you before to talk about a lot of your CoCo projects.
We definitely want to get you on, and we want to talk about like the Ladder Man 2 game you did, and then this magazine that you're kind of, the digital magazine that you also showed off on the show today. I'd love to have you on talking about that, and maybe get some people to help contribute to it if you want.
Right. This is an interesting way of looking at hardware here with this soothing music,
Yeah. I especially like the fact that, we've seen lots of take apart videos, like here's how you do all this stuff, but we rarely see people putting them back together so they work. So that was kind of interesting too, because like I said, that's something I have no experience with. If I take something apart, it's done.
At least you're not soldering.
Yeah, exactly.
Soldering your hair.
The man knows his limits.
Yeah. Next up, and he just joined the panel here, so you can help explain this too, but Simon Jonassen did another video demonstrating his audio engine with a 3-voice song. Now this one, he's added some better compression to it. So this is now taking less than a granule for the player itself and the 3-voice music track itself as well. And the song's about almost 2 minutes, not quite, about a minute and a half, which for something that's only like 1,700 and some odd bytes, 1,738 bytes to load, start to finish, the player and the music itself, it decompresses to just under 4K. So I will play it for a bit here. And then Simon, if you want to chime in with some technical details or explanation.
And yes.
And this is based on a C64 track, I think you said?
Yeah, it's Ocean Loader.
I like how the instruments sound.
The thing for me that's most impressive about this, because Simon's done, multi-voice players and so other people in the past, but compressing it down to that size, like, less than 2,000 bytes to do a 3-voice track song and the player itself that's handling it is pretty impressive.
And it sounds really good too. Better than most that I hear.
And for something of that length too.
Yeah. Now I think, Simon, you'd mentioned it's using AP Ultra compression?
Yes, the AP Ultra, actually AP Lib.
So I'll just pause this so we can hear you properly here, but I'm not sure. That's a compression technique I've not heard of before. I've heard like ADPCM and a few others, but what exactly is that?
AP Lib, you can look it up on the interweb.
That's a technical explanation. Go look it up, buddy.
But seriously, I can send you a link, Curtis. I can send you a link for AP Ultra is a take on AP Lib. AP Lib was done by a Danish guy back in the day. It's using the dictionary, so it's basically LZW compression on picking CoCo in real time.
Okay, so it's
That's
like Olympus
cool.
of Welsh, larger bit sizes to correspond to previous windows of data type thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I helped Doug Marston. Actually, he came to me when I was talking about when I compressed another track. He was saying, well, yeah, well, okay, I've got this thing called APLib, and do you want to look at the code? I said, yeah, all right, look at the code. And we actually chopped off a few cycles from the 6809 decompressor.
Now, is this the same Doug Maston that worked on Contras back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just worked on the code for the decompressor, and I chopped off a few cycles and whatever, So he'd done a wicked 6309. And I've not got my head around 6309 yet. So
you'll like it, trust me.
Yeah, well, I'll take it to the dark side. I'll take it to the dark side. Talking about the dark side.
Hopefully, it won't take you 20 years like it took Nick Morandis to learn about it. But
talking about the dark side, hey, talking about the dark side. Look at this fucker.
No, here, let me stop and. Okay, so what is that? MSX2, is that the Dragon one we talked about before? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
MSX2 board.
Yeah, so that's got the sound and the sprite chip, doesn't it?
Yep.
So you're starting to fiddle with that?
It's a prototype. So this is a beta board. If you look at the front of it, it's a beta board.
Cool. We've shown some videos demonstrate, like Paris Surratt's done some programming for it already with the AGD engine and stuff. So
I'm a tester on this one. So I've got to wrap my head around the Yamaha V9958.
Cool. Well, when you get some good demo code for that, I wouldn't mind seeing that in action. It's kind of like we've been showing some of the Gimme X stuff. Most of the demo programs from Ed. I mean, in Nitrous 9, we've only kicked in the 3 megahertz. That's all we've really been fiddling with, but definitely have some plans.
So, but yeah, I mean, the other thing you played before was, yeah, I took it down to 3 voices just because the track was 3 voices. And what I want to do actually with that player is, because it's using different samples, is actually use what would be the 4th voice. So actually denote using a couple of bits or maybe 4 bits. Okay, you have 1 fixed channel and 2 channels can change waveforms. So you can probably have varying amplitudes, varying volumes, stuff like that. So you don't have to do a lot of coding. You just change out the waveform on the fly. So you can get volume slides, you can get arpeggio, you can get everything for free.
Okay, cool. But yeah, we've been following the MSX Dragon Plus board for a while there because there've been a few mentions of it, and some people have shown examples, programs and stuff running on the Dragon group on Facebook, and there's been pretty impressive stuff considering this is just, as you said, this is just test hardware out at this point, and people are just learning how to use it all. But I know Paris Surratt did some modifications to his AGD engine where he's actually running 16 color sprites and full music tracks in the background and stuff for some of the old AGD Spectrum ports, and it's pretty impressive.
Exactly.
Especially considering this is CoCo 1 and 2 hardware, not CoCo 3.
So, but yeah, I'm a beta tester on that.
Cool. Well, definitely keep us posted on that. And cramming, I guess I lied. It's not just the player and the actual soundtrack. It's actually the decompressor too that you're fitting into less than 2,000 bytes.
Decompressor. The actual track itself with the player is 3,993 bytes.
Yeah, so it compressed quite well then to get that down to less than 2,000.
Yeah, so it compressed to about 68% compression or something like that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, definitely keep us posted on both, further modifications you make to the sound player, so that you can actually fit, really complicated tracks on a 128K machine easily, or even a CoCo 1 and 2. And then also just some of the stuff you're doing with the Dragon Plus board, because we've seen some pretty impressive stuff on that. And I'd love to see what you're going to do with it, because most of the stuff so far has been demos or converting an existing engine just to use some of this capabilities, but not like hammering the card hard.
Exactly. So they don't call me Madman for nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, thanks for popping on for that, because I know you said you weren't sure you were going to make it. It was good you were here because you obviously know a lot more about it than I do.
Yeah, I've got so much shit going on, but most of it's real life. So, but that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. And then the last story, which we kind of mentioned earlier, is Terry Steen is selling off a bunch of his duplicate CoCo 3s and 2s. He's not getting out of the CoCo. He's keeping multiple ones himself. That we mentioned earlier in the show. So this is just showing, and this was a shot earlier this morning of, he's got CoCo 1s, he's got CoCo 2s. Some of them come with boxes, some don't. Some come with manuals, some don't. He's even got some CoCo 3s. I don't know if they're sold out yet. I think some of these have ended already now. Some of them still have 3 days left. So, but they're very reasonably priced, especially considering eBay prices for CoCo 3s lately. I mean, they've just been astronomical. So these are affordable ones here. So if you've been trying to find one of these, Stevie, does he only accept eBay offers, or does he take private offers on the side if somebody wants to try to lock one
honestly,
in?
I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, there's some decent hardware here and various types of CoCos and various packages of certain things with them, but reasonably priced. And that's the big thing these days. That's getting harder and harder to find for the CoCo.
Yeah, he is on Discord too, so you could send. I'm pretty sure he's on Facebook, but he's also on Discord, so you could reach out to him there if you wanted to inquire about any side deals.
Okay, and that is it for the news.
All right, fantabulous. Paul T. Barton has joined us. Hey, Paul, how you doing? You're muted.
Mutated?
Can we unmute him ourselves or not?
Yes,
here we go.
there we go.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I spent the morning debugging this silly SBC.
Single board computer, huh?
Yeah, it finally puts out some data, but the flow of the software is screwy. So I got a new hairdo.
I had to get
my last haircut I got. It was the guy just chopped it off, and I said, "Oh crap, it's too short to comb."
Right? Can you use an SDC with your SBC?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
That hair needs product.
Yeah, I'm just,
It's got headphones at the moment.
So I started a little Facebook group.
We should nuke that hair from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, right. So I started a Facebook group for this board, and so if anybody wants to follow, they can do that.
What's the name of it?
It's, if I can remember, Mick Mini Bug Variants.
That just flows. It just rolls right off the tongue there.
There's a Facebook group that Ron Delvaux did not create.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's one that Ron didn't do. Yeah. This is my first group, so I don't know how to run it. So we'll see what happens.
If somebody has that link handy, if you want to post it into the chat,
yeah,
on YouTube, just so we can have it on the permanent recording of the show, so people can find it easier.
Well, I don't know, and we're going to put you on the spot here, and you could just say pass and maybe do it some other time, Ali. But usually when we have somebody on the panel who's never been on before, we do a little mini This Is Your Life and tell a little bit about your history back in the day and what you're doing now. We didn't discuss this. You kind of came on unexpected, but do you feel like doing something like that, or would you rather save that for a special occasion?
Well, I could definitely do a spiel or something. So how I got into the CoCo, you mean?
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, because I haven't had a chance to record a new one of Who's New to Discord this week, but you did a nice write-up in the Discord channel, too, on our welcome channel. So, but yeah, if you don't mind doing that, that'd be cool, because I know some of us kind of know you a little bit through Facebook, and then recently you've been on Discord, and we've been, joining the chats throughout the day and stuff. So welcome officially to the craziness, and take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Stevie. Basically, I got started on the CoCo back in late 1980, early 1981, because I had a contact with a couple of computers at work, and I realized the computers were like really cool, and I didn't know anything about where to buy a computer or what was going on or anything. All I knew is Apple IIs are really expensive, HPs are really expensive, that kind of thing. And but I was into that Radio Shack catalog. It was like, it was basically like the monthly, one of those monthly highlights. Is I don't know if you guys used to read through the catalog or not, but and they had that color computer in there, and so I took my my company Christmas bonus and spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars, brought home that CoCo 2, and then spent the next year, maybe 2 years, spending most nights with the going ahead with extended color basic open on my lap, and programming that thing. And then around 1985, I got online with it finally, and found a few other CoCo users, and we formed the South Bay Color Computer Users Group. And we basically were the South Bay's color computer portal, and had a BBS that was running. Ran through a few name changes. Started as the Tandy Color Sig, and then it became the Tandy Heart of Gold, and then it became the Heart of Gold, and then we call it the Hog. And we had meetings at the Saratoga Library.
Where's that at?
That's in California, in the South Bay, near the mountains in the South Bay. And so Saratoga's kind of a nice little bedroom community down there. And so we basically head on down to Saratoga, and our meetings were really informal, like a little bit like CoCoTALK, we just basically we'd show up. At least one person would bring a machine, and we'd demo the stuff we were working on. Everybody bring discs and that sort of thing, and then we'd play games, that sort of thing. I remember our youngest member, his mother came once and spent the entire thing just to make sure that we weren't going to sell her kid to like I don't know, Shanghai or something. And but it was like we were basically just a bunch of like, I was 20 something, and there was like some teenagers and that sort of thing, and one tween, and we basically were the South Bay's entire color computer presence.
Wow.
I crap you not. It's there was maybe a couple other members came and went, but we were like the core, and then that lasted several years, and then we all went off to college, and I went for a few years without a CoCo, and then somebody at work pulled one out of a pile at the junkyard, believe it or not, and brought it to work and said, "Hey, isn't this that thing you were talking about?" And that caused me to run on down to Radio Shack, and I actually found a pair of Black Beauties and a cassette cable, and I had found a bag of program packs and cassettes out that I somehow missed, that was out in the garage. And that was there was this little period, this little honeymoon period, where I spent several weeks just playing with this thing. And then that guy from work said, "Hey, I want to show that to my brother," and so I loaned it to him, and then he lost it in his Fibber McGee closet of a garage. And so I never saw that CoCo again. But then my friend Larry found one on the curb in his neighborhood. His neighbor put one out about 3-4 years ago, and brought me this CoCo 1, 32K CoCo 1. And so I fixed that thing up. And then I found out about you guys when I was looking for fun YouTubes that had to do with the CoCo. And some of this guy named Stevie Stroh just kept on coming up, game after game, video after video. And then CoCoTALK showed up, and I realized you guys had this thing going on every week. And then I watched the show, and I realized you guys were insane.
Guilty as charged.
Right.
That's a common response.
Took you that long to figure that out?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I watched it a few more times, and like the Cthulhu horde that you are, you turned me insane. And so I got Discord and installed it, and then that's where we are now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool bananas.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the collective. And
Yes.
I think
Are you married? You got kids?
No, I'm single. I'm way too messed up to to get married. I mean, I can't imagine, inflicting this on anybody else.
Well,
but that doesn't mean I'm completely single or anything. As a matter of fact, say hi, Larry.
Hi there.
There we go. So there's Larry is over here, but
hey, Larry.
Hi there.
He says hi back.
Enjoying watching you folk.
Yeah, he's been sitting here watching you guys through this whole thing. He's a really patient guy.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
And I'm sorry you have to put up with me at night when on Discord.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's terrible.
Really?
Well, I think the coolest thing was it was last week after the show, and it was in the evening, and it started with Danny playing on the piano, and then I think Paul Thayer got out the guitar, and then Allie, you were doing some stuff.
I pulled out a guitar and we were jamming.
And all of a sudden, it had this live Discord jam, and it was kind of like Saturday night at CoCo Fest after the show, where everybody was getting together live jamming. And surprisingly, being on a kind of a group call, it was not that much delay. Unlike when we try to sing here on this show, and even to sing Happy Birthday. But the music was you guys were able to play live together. It was really cool. This breakout jam session just happened. It was like being.
I was kind of blown away, frankly. That I was playing with Danny over in Australia.
And
it was we were literally opposite sides of the world, and we were doing this live and on Discord, and it worked.
I know, and I remember you were trying to do some live music with us a while ago when we were debuting some of your stuff, Danny, and we just couldn't get the audio to work.
No.
But again, Zoom is a conference software, so I think it tries to filter out background noise, whereas Discord, being on an audio channel, maybe it's being less critical on kind of filtering out nose blind type stuff. Sound blinds type stuff. I don't know.
Plus, Discord is more of an audio-only channel too, which pretty means it's it has less to deal with all the video.
Yeah.
I ended up joining that session right at the very end because I didn't know you guys were doing that. I just happened onto it, so I even dragged my old acoustic out.
So I mean,
that was fun.
It's kind of a rhetorical question, but since you're a little bit new to the insanity here, Allison, it's could you have imagined, you talked about your club where you had 4 or 5 of you, and you were kind of this little cult sect. Could you have imagined back then that there would be even if there's only 4 or 5 of us now, but the fact that there's 4 or 5 people getting together almost every day, just chatting and then jamming at night and all this kind of stuff, the things we're doing now, it's just it's insane. It blows my mind. So
well, thanks to you guys, the internet finally makes sense to me.
You are a troubled man, aren't you?
Have you ever tried listening to some of the guys we had on the show in the past that you only knew about through their programs they made?
I've only looked at a few of the classic episodes of the show. It's hard to keep up with a show that has 4 hours a week.
Yeah,
it's
That's by design.
Watch it every minute of this show every week. Usually long after it's aired. So, but especially the news, Curtis. I want everybody to know that the news is getting some loving because I like that news. I likes me the newsies.
The fact that you're still awake, I think, pretty well proves that point. So
yeah,
exactly.
We did start condensing them down to the best of, but all the files were blank. So
hey, Curtis, you were talking about before with the thing that Alan Huffman was doing with his
data
little glitch thing about data statements.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled out XROAR and I typed in a quick program and ran it, and it throws a syntax error because I'm reading a numeric variable and it's treating the data token as a string.
Okay, so it does have the same bug on. Okay.
It does throw an error, yeah. It doesn't print. Well,
Well, because it's misinterpreting, but it's actually misinterpreting the line and trying to read the word data as actual data. So it's still
Right,
exactly. Now you're trying to read a numeric
as string data because it's giving me an error because I'm reading into a numeric variable. I bet if I change line 20 to a string variable, it'll.
So yeah, so if you put something in parentheses first, then it'll probably work. But
Hey, John, what's that shovel used for behind you? I don't remember what we used that for. You have a lot of crap around, or?
It's a snow shovel.
Oh, God.
Yeah, if you want to see several feet of it, just sitting on my lawn right now, come on over, Ron. You can check it out.
Yeah, we had a bit of a 2-day snowstorm here. It's all, not all of it, but it's much of it's melted away. The streets are all clear and everything, and
It
so
looks
it's
like
not
a
so bad.
black beauty.
What is this snow you speak of? Crazy stuff.
Yeah, so I changed it to a string variable, and it no longer throws a syntax error, but it throws a graphics character in with the output.
The token.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And just so you guys know, this show's token is David Ladd. So,
drive wire.
Oh my God! So I think we've run out of stuff to talk about for 1 week. And is anything else we need to say in closing? Did we already lose Simon? Simon kind of came and went. Okay.
Yeah, he said he was kind of pressed for time today, so
Okay.
he's just going
I'm
to
glad
jump
we
on.
really get the madman on.
I will say it's going to be an interesting show next week because there's 2 big presentations. Nick Morentis has his big program announcement, and we've got the UU. So definitely check out next week.
Crikey.
It's going to be a 6-hour one, except no, I guess we actually have the other show to do too. So
And
it's
then
going to
the
be.
game.
We're gonna.
Go ahead, Ron.
We're going through all the documentation to EOU.
We will. We'll do dramatic readings.
Read it ahead of time and have your question.
Ron, are you volunteering to be the narrator?
Yeah, read it in your best Shatner.
Yes.
Does it do WeFax now?
Just don't take the nerve off the end of it.
Okay, Ron said WeFax. Everybody drink.
Everybody do a shot. Right? So it's ease of WeFax. Excellent. Well, we're getting away with much less than 4 or 5 hours this week. We've only done a scant 3 hours. Leave the audience wanting to kill themselves less. So is what I say. So thanks for being here, Allison, our newest member to the panel. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Danny. And Mark Overholzer, and we lost Nick Marotta, but L. Curtis Boyle. Thank you for the news.
I'm here.
Nick I meant to say Nick Morentis. We lost Nick Morentis. Sorry.
We lose
Morentis.
Nick
We get too many
Marotta.
Nicks. Yeah, we are.
One of them nicked off.
Oh, you got a camera too. There's the video.
Oh, yeah.
Live video. Hello. So
I actually threw something on for the occasion.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, clothing is
Nice
optional.
to see you, Allison.
Clothing is optional on this show here. So.
Are you sure?
What?
Hold
I'm
still,
just finding
laddie.
this out.
You're opening a can of worms there, Stevie.
Oh dear God.
Yep. We could scare a few people off, I think, with that.
So the game
Worms,
this
pretty
week.
way to put it.
The game this week is Color Car Action, right, Nick?
Yes. And I just got a nice note from David thanking me for making that. He and Joshua will be having fun with that game this week. So I'm really glad to make people happy with the game choices.
Yeah,
And don't forget to get
that
the
makes it worth it for me when other people are having fun with it.
Yeah,
Allison, is that laser discs back there?
Our albums over your shoulder,
Behind
over
you.
your left shoulder. Are those albums, LPs, or Laserdisc?
Laserdisc.
Asking you.
Asking who?
Allison.
Allison.
Oh, sorry. Yes. These are LPs.
LPs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a record player just above them.
Okay.
Curtis, you're going to say something about the game on?
Yes, I was just going to mention for those of you that have Color Car Action back from the old days, don't forget to get the upgraded versions.
They are
available in Discord or through the link.
They are pinned in Discord because this game. I don't normally like to pin games in Discord, but if they're this one has the blessing of the author, and so if you look at the pin, check the pins, and you'll find the optimized versions. Or
They definitely play smoother and better. So I just wanted to emphasize it actually makes the gameplay better. So
or Curtis's site, which reminds us that Buzzard Bait is better than Lancer.
Yeah.
not in my version, man.
So history has been made. We've got 2 women on the panel. Thank you for doubling that quota and all in one show there, Allison. Appreciate that. Yeah. The world will never be the same. L. Curtis Boyle, thank you for all you do each and every week. Thank you for your news and for Nitrous 9 and all that good stuff. Mark Overholzer, I'm not sure what we should be thanking you for, but I'm sure it's something. For wearing
Awesome eyewear.
your goggles. Yes. Danny, thank you for being you and for your music and your spirit and all that you do. Round Delvaux, Mark Zuckerberg really appreciates all the ad revenue you generate with your plethora of Facebook groups. So keep his billions coming in. Patrick Hewlin, Rick Hewlin, thank you. And Paul T. Barton and John Laurey and Nick Marotta, and Jason Reichert and Mark Bosley, Brian Weasler, Alison DeNu, Brian the Music Man Schubing, Alan Murphy, Sloopy Malibu, David Ladd. We had with us earlier Nick Marentes was here. We had a few people come and go.
Simon Jonassen.
We'll get it straightened out once.
Yes. We've got people.
We've only been here for 3 years.
David Lord is in the live chat, and Truth Seekers, AC's 8-Bit Zone. We started off the show. What did you guys think of the new electronic CoCoTALK theme by
It was
Bruce
great.
Moore?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Really good.
Debuted.
I missed it.
We could play us out on that. So we'll do final thoughts, and then I think because now with the new OBS I can actually scrub through the video. So I'll start the intro, but I'll scrub through it and play it as an outro. Does anybody have any parting thoughts for the folks at home? Any words of wisdom? Anything? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah.
Color car, action.
I do. Never hand solder a resistor that looks like this.
That looks like a stick of gum. Oh, okay.
Oh, there's like 7 of them in that little shot there. It's
0201.
Exactly.
Oh, that's 0201s, just to give everybody a sense of scale, are smaller than fly dung.
Yes. Yes, very much.
10 of them on a grain of rice, pretty much. So yeah,
and
madness that way goes.
Jason, you handle a lot of fly dung?
I'm just trying to relate to the common person, using a sense of scale.
One does not simply handle fly dung.
You experience fly dung.
You melt it with a soldering iron.
Yeah.
What's that, Allison?
Most people probably sit on it every single day.
We're less than a month out from the Trash Talk. They're going to announce the prize or the contest winners.
Yeah, for the programming contest, yeah. And you've got an entry in there, I
next
saw.
podcast, yeah.
Oh, do we get to vote for that? Can we vote for you?
I think they decide amongst themselves.
Oh, okay.
The guys are
Yes, and they had a better turnout this year. I think they said it was roughly split between CoCo and the Model 1-3 crowd, and there was like at least 3 or 4 entries of each.
Yeah,
this year, which last year they only had a couple entries total.
They said in their current podcast, they mentioned it, and they said there were a couple of that the CoCo guys really came on in force when it came to the game contest, and that a couple of the basic programs they said in the podcast were very promising, and so it looks like one of us might have gotten it.
Oh, excellent!
Nice.
At least according to the current podcast, which came out I think on the 5th.
Yeah. They do it live on YouTube too if you catch them at the right time, if you subscribe and hit the bell too, so you can actually interact with them in the chat room on the occasions they actually look at it.
Cool.
All right, and for those who don't know, Allison is who gave us the Fletcher sock puppet commercial. Can we get a "You'll Go Far" Fletcher from you, Allison?
Really?
You'll go far, Fletcher.
So Allison gave us the Fletcher sock puppet commercial, and we played a couple of your song parodies today. The "Pull Me Closer, Flying Lancer."
Yeah, they're a little bit more. I don't know. They're not as high level as your Samuel Gimes stuff. But,
what do you mean by high?
Right, and our
the subtlety, the nuance. It's just not
how about we do this? Ken Reichert has reminded me of something, so hold on just a second. We're not done here yet.
Had enough of 2020? Well, now you can get the Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. CoCo Fest Edition digital copy for $1 off until the end of the year.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
But this edition never appeared at CoCo Fest.
Buck off.
Was it the original version free?
Buck off.
Haven't you been pushing this trash for over a year now?
Buck off. Get it at kenscococorner.itch.io. Remember, you've still paid too much.
I didn't know he could
Wait.
make that funnier.
The original game was free.
That's pretty good.
If the original game was free and it's $1 off, shouldn't he be paying us $1 to take the game?
Hey, Nick, he should.
Fuck off.
Do you think the sound and speech cartridge would say that? Well,
Buck off.
It's like,
Probably.
wow, 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 wow. I believe
I don't know. One of us should try that.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
All right, I'm going to attempt to do this. I'm going to attempt to scrub through to get to the CoCoTALK new theme song to play out as our outro. So bear with me.
Make sure
here.
you scrub behind your
Are
ears.
we going to have an after dark sometime in the future?
We might play some games tonight.
Or games.
Oh shit! This is not doing the right song. I gotta fix this shit.
I think Allison's okay with that.
I got a tab on your desktop there.
Yes.
Blue wings, baby, love a lady.
Well, enjoy that while I get my shit together here.
So I better pack a lunch, is what you're saying.
Just remember, this is a professional show.
Where?
I really like that song.
Oh.
How many episodes is this? 189?
Open minds and courage.
We still can't get it right.
Yeah.
Open minds and courage. Sense of humor recommended.
There we go.
If any off-color comments were made,
And strange enough,
We're
people still
sorry.
watch up to show it. See it.
We're still sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
The world premiere, the latest CoCoTALK theme song, everybody.
Oh, you got one.
Coming at ya.
We started off the show with it.
Yep.
NBC.
this is CoCoTALK, the only show in the world featuring David Ladd. It's time to grease your weasel and do whatever yo pleasel, because we're about to rock your 8-bit world.
It broke my camera.
Insert guitar solo here. I need to get some sound drops like Drivewire, TTL, RS-232.
Oh, I just like the breaking stuff.
And there's Tina. Hey, Tina. All right, there it is again.
That is so cool. I really love that.
Start the show and we close the show. Hey, Tina Overholzer. Or Tina, not Overholzer. I forgot if you took his name. Or...
Mrs. Mark.
Mrs. Mark.
Hello.
Hey, Tina. All right, guys. And thank you to our live audience, Canadian Retro Things, and Brian Joyce, and 8 Bits in the Basement, and Ben Drakes was out here, David Ladd, David Lord, Truth Seekers, and Mark Overholzer, and Brian Joyce, Extractus Productions. James Jones has been out there. Salvador Garcia was out there. David Craker was out there. So many people. Tim Franklin, David Lord, Ken Reichard. Can he make it? I don't know. And so many people. Frodo and L was out there. Boat of Car was out there. Salvador, I think we mentioned Salvador. And all kinds of people. Thanks for being here today on the show each and every week. Quality entertainment for what you pay for it. You just can't complain. Say goodbye, everybody. I'm going to press the button. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Push the button, Frank.
Goodbye, everybody.
Buck
Refresh,
off.
everybody.
Back off.
Buck off, you mother buckers. All right.